Yeah.
Somebody says they're pretty sure, they're 99.9% sure they saw me at the mall this weekend.
Did you go to the mall?
They could have said, hi. I did go to the mall.
Well, then it was you.
Had to be.
Did you go to Oak Park or where?
I did. My daughter had been asking for a few weeks to go to the mall, and there was like a specific thing she wanted to look for. So we all went. If you saw a kid dribbling a basketball through the whole mall, it was definitely us. He took it with him. I just let him take it with him everywhere. What do I care? That soft indoor basketball, he can dribble it wherever he wants. So he just dribbled it through all of Oak Park Mall as we hit a couple of shops. You know? I got a question about that coming up in a little bit anyway.
The mall?
But let's just about kids apparel in general. We can get to it in just a minute.
All right.
But let's talk about the U.S. men's gold hockey win.
Yeah, man.
For the first time since the Miracle on Ice, I think everybody was locked in. Look, I'm up that early anyway. It did not require me putting in extra effort to get up early on time, but I think a lot of people did. For those who sleep in, I think people were locked in for the gold medal match.
Yeah, I'm wondering what everybody did. I guess the three of us, you kind of just said what you did. Essentially, you were already up. I was talking to people the night before, and what is everybody doing? And some friends were going to a bar down the street because they were opening up at 6:45 or so. And Sundays usually the day where I quote unquote sleep in a little bit, but at the same time, now I'm at a point where between the dog getting up and stuff, I'm not like I could just not set the alarm and I'll be up in time. But I wasn't going to make any separate arrangements. Like I knew Saturday night I was not going to set the alarm for 6:15 in the morning to get ready to go to a bar to watch it or whatever. So frankly, I naturally just woke up around 7:15. I missed the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
or
you didn't
so.
miss much.
I missed I missed the first goal though. 2 minutes into the match. I miss that. Other than that, I just honestly, legit, Cody, I watched the entire match just in my bed.
Just
laid in bed.
Laid in bed?
I did.
I watched it sitting on the couch, obviously, as things got moving. And then my kids were locked in with me as it got later because, they understand the country they live in general. So they were like, okay, so we're rooting for the U.S.? So they saw the Canada goal and were like, oh, no. And you're like, yeah, I know. But it'll, if they don't score again, it'll go to overtime and then they'll have a chance to do it. So I briefly got to explain to my kids, but just like in the living room under normal circumstances, but they were still excited. They were excited that the U.S. won. It was one of those matches that, especially because that the U.S. got the women's hockey team too, and Jack Hughes becomes an even better hero because he's missing his front teeth. They're all chipped and diagonal and messed up through the match too, and he's hitting game-winning, goals to go with it. It just felt like it kind of had everything. Rivalry, Canada played better the entire match, so the U.S. didn't feel like at any point. I didn't feel good going into overtime they were going to win that. Canada had some good opportunities, and then, Hellebuck essentially single-handedly kept them in that match the entire time through an all-time goalie performance. So, they had a couple of heroes and a great game, and watching, taking down Canada was fun because they dislike each other.
No, there's real hate there, and that's why I think it was Friday's show we were watching the semifinals play out. And, the boss was out in the bullpen area over there watching on TV, and I think he was rooting against Canada. I was like, no, I want Canada in the final. I want Canada in the gold medal match for the very reason why we all are enjoying yesterday's win so much. It's not just that the U.S. got its first gold in men's hockey since the Miracle on Ice in 1980, but you did it against Canada, and you get the sweep of hockey over Canada. That's their pride. That's their sport, as they obviously make sure everybody knows. And no, the United States owns hockey right now. So
at least
I
for
love
the next 4 years.
I love it. And it was like, I will say this, NBC, we've given a lot of crap for the Michael Jordan interview stuff and how the joke. They absolutely were unbelievable during that entire gold medal match. Mike Tirico post game, and it was like the coverage was top notch. The call was also great from Kenny Albert.
Watch up behind the net, and it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes pokes it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Blocked across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 Miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
And then Freebird starts playing as well. It was an epic moment. It really was. Like, I was not alive when they won in 1980.
Nope.
So this is my first time ever seeing the U.S. get a gold medal in men's hockey. And look, I don't claim to be some huge hockey fan. You guys know that if you listen to the show. Cody isn't either. But they're amazing
to go to.
I like
watching hockey when it's on, but it's not my primary sport.
I'll say this about hockey, and we can talk about like future hockey in Kansas City later on when we talk about this again. But I'll tell you this, anytime I watch hockey, and it's usually when the stakes are high. So it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's Olympic hockey or whatever.
Yep.
When I've gone to two Vegas Golden Knights games, I've never watched or gone to one and not been entertained and had a ton of fun watching. The drama is unbelievable.
No, it makes
Absolutely
me want
unbelievable.
to have a team here because I think we would get into it more, don't you think?
Of
It's fun.
course.
The action's good. There's a physicality to it, but also speed and technical skill. And like any hockey match, and they talk about this in the NHL playoffs all the time. If you're a regular watcher of those, which I watch more during that time, is that it's kind of like having a star quarterback who's hot or a guy who can't miss a shot. Like in the NCAA tournament, when the small school kid just hits every three. If you got a goalie who's just on one, anything can happen in that given day. Like they were going to lose that match if Hellebuck was just had a good day, pretty good day.
Yeah, it should have been 4-1.
Yeah. Did you see the expected goal numbers at the end? The expected goal numbers for each team: 5.96 expected goals for Canada, 1.96 for the U.S. They should have lost by 4 goals. That was the discrepancy in the shots, the play, the style. But Hellebuck came through and all that other stuff. And yeah, it does make me wish for a team in KC. And I know we can get into that later, but there is a part of it that just get you amped up. It's one of those sports. And I know it's crazy because you say 46 years since the last time they won one. Well, you only get the shot every 4 years.
Right.
So I've only had 10 bites at the apple. That's the thing about this is like some of these players, because of the way sports work, won't even have a chance to like defend their gold 4 years from now. They'll be too old or some other player will come up. You just don't know what it is year to year. So it's like in a window in which you've got an opportunity. Canada had the better team, I think. Who cares? They won. The Jack Hughes, all that.
Oh, he's a
incredible.
legend forever now.
You think so?
He's an Oh, of course. Yeah, he's a legend forever. You have a golden goal to win a gold medal for the U.S. for only the second time in the history of USA hockey. Yeah, Jack Hughes is a name that all of us that were obviously we're old enough, but even if you were a 12-year-old kid, Jack Hughes is a name that you're going to remember 50 years from now.
It'll be like, I think if you're a sports fan, it'll be very similar to like the way people talk Eruzione. Like there's always a couple of guys whose names even though you and I weren't alive for the 1981. It's just one of those things that gets passed down because of like familiarity in the name and the sport. But I mean, it was fun.
Drew, did you set the alarm? Did you watch or did you catch part of it?
I did not watch a single solitary second of that game yesterday.
Okay, all right, this is interesting. Okay, I did
Are
not
you
know
not
that.
American?
So, did you knew it was on though, right? Or you just didn't have any interest in it?
I think I didn't know what time it was on. Like I wasn't tracking. I wasn't keeping track of it. I recognized that it was on after it was done, and I saw like on social media that it was done.
Were you asleep?
No, I woke up at. I guess what time was it live?
7
Saw it
a.m.
at 7
till
Central.
what did it finish up? 9 something? When do you think it wrapped up? 9:30? Gold? Somewhere around
I don't.
there,
It doesn't
right?
matter. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I woke up at 8:45 and went to church, and then after that I saw that it was on social media that they had won, and I was like, dang, I missed the entire thing. I totally spaced that it was even on, to be honest with you.
You just
great that we won.
I can't
But
believe.
I did not
As
watch
someone-
a single second.
because you're
of
just
that.
like a big sports fan for
Yes,
sports.
Yeah, I did not.
So that's what's
I
surprising.
missed
to me.
it.
You watch more random sports stuff than anybody. I am shocked.
I know. I know. I missed the gold medal match.
Man, that's brutal. I am
Or
surprised.
game, someone's freaking out. Gold medal game. It's going to be okay. I promise. It'll be all right. One person is texting in, having a heart attack, having a heart attack about it. It's going to be okay.
When you're talking
We
of sports,
know
you
what
just
you
match
meant.
game.
It's
yeah,
gonna
just
be
do
all
good
right.
stuff.
It's gonna be
We
fine.
know what you meant.
All I know is
Dear
Yeah.
Canada, you.
that's all that matters.
I will say this. I think in terms of play-by-play broadcasters, by the way, Kenny Albert is pound for pound, like sport for sport. He's one of the best.
I don't know how people call hockey.
He's so good.
The action is
calling hockey.
insane. I don't know anybody calls hockey. Every name has 4 Z's in it, and the action is insanely fast. And there's 60 shots on goal in a game, and you got to decide between the ones that feel big and the ones that are just shots. Just like kick, throwing it somewhere up near the net a little bit.
I've caught high when I was in North Dakota. Of course, hockey is massive in North Dakota. I did play-by-play for hockey one time, Didn't do it again, and that's probably because they recognized Drew's not very good at the keeping up with the puck sort of things. Like it's not. It is definitely the names more than anything else, Cody, for sure. With all the helter-skelterness of the names.
What'd you make of the fact that 3-on-3 though decided a gold medal?
I mean, that's how it was the rest of the Olympics.
Drama.
So what do I care?
As someone that's not a diehard hockey fan, I didn't mind it. I think it goes back to: do you think that soccer games should be decided in a shootout or not? You know, if the NFL all of a sudden just had a field goal, contest to decide a game, we would hate that. I think that's the argument people will make for it. As someone that just wants the most drama and high stakes, and also as much as I loved watching the game, I did not need to watch it for another 2 hours. So I'm glad I wanted it. I mean, we also didn't need to get to a conclusion. So I didn't mind the 3-on-3 hockey as much as other people. And certainly, if the U.S. would have lost, maybe people would have a different opinion on it. But they won with the 3-on-3.
I'm glad it wasn't a shootout. At least, like I'm glad it was an overtime of some kind.
I mean,
maybe for the gold you do 5-on-5, but I still think for the nature, I'm glad they didn't do just a normal shootout.
For the same reason I like the shootout for soccer or anything else. If that's
a lot of people don't though.
If that's that's fine. But like for me personally,
yeah.
If that's the overtime system that's existed outside of it, well, then I'm fine with it, right? Like I don't have any complaint about 3-on-3, and it does pretty much tell you like. I've watched now 3 different 3-on-3 matches in this Olympic run because there's been a number of them, including U.S. and Canada, I think, in the quarters of the semis. The one thing I know is it's going to end fast. We're at the end here. The second they give them that amount of space on the rink, someone's going to score, and it's going to happen quickly. Yep. And so I like the idea that now you were in a high-pressure, high-stakes moment in which the game-winning goal's coming, like at some point here. When do you think Jack Hughes will get his teeth fixed? Think that's today, tomorrow?
Oh, very quickly.
Next week?
Very quickly.
He said we have good dentist. He's like, I'll go see a dentist.
Yeah, it happens all the time in hockey. Yeah, they'll get that taken care of. And he plays for the New Jersey Devils. I think they play Pittsburgh later on. Hockey starts back up on Wednesday and Thursday. NHL hockey, that is.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I got to ask you a question about what your plan is because you're heading to a Canadian
How about that timing?
How
about that timing? Yeah, I'm going to Montreal on Thursday.
So, and you're planning on catching a match. So I got to ask you something about what your attire plan is because I overheard you in the bullpen and I think you might be taking a risk. So
yep, I've got a plan for Thursday in Montreal.
We'll talk about that at 11 o'clock coming up here on Cody and Gold. I do want to talk a little Royals baseball. Spring training game number 4 underway coming up at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. If you want to catch some Royals baseball, that'll take place right here on our airwaves. I was thinking more about the Royals because like every time I think about, okay, what do we want to talk about for the show? Who are the players that are interesting? I asked myself a simple question. I wanted to know if your answer was the same, which is who is the most important Royal this season? And in kicking around a bunch of different names, I understand who the best player is. I think Cole Reagans is the most important Royal. Like, I'll listen to some other arguments, and I think that there certainly are some. We've talked about Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione and their importance. Cole Reagans' ability to start 30 games, be out there as an anchor tenant of the rotation, I think is more important than any other player's performance this season. I think he just ends up being the reliability part of not having to count on the back end of the rotation the way that they have before, not having to count on the bullpen in the same ways. He's your strikeout guy. He can eliminate and get you wins regularly outside of it. And they did okay working around that last year. But it's also, had he pitched the entire season, what could they have been? And I think that that's why I ended up deciding he's their most important player, even more so than the guys who I think are big swing players and that they're counting on.
He's top 3, if not top 2 for me. I mean, it's hard to argue. Cole Reagans, the ace of your staff, and all of a sudden, if you get him through an entire season, you know what he's capable of doing. And yes, he can anchor your rotation. And there's question marks still, despite the depth of the rotation, there's question marks around just about everybody in the rotation. Like I can come up with a pretty strong question for each one. For Reagans, it's about health. For Lugo, it's whether or not the second half post-contract extension, what was going on there. For Chris Bubich, it's health. For Noah Cameron, it's is there massive regression coming? There's questions across the board. You need someone to be stable. Cole Reagans being that would be huge for them. I'll still go with the most important Royal, and I know they don't want to put it on him because this happened last year as well. I still think most important, I view that as a swing type of player as well. So Jack Caglione is still my answer because I know what I'm getting from Bobby. I know what I'm getting from Vinny. I think we know what we're getting from Maikel Garcia. We kind of know what we're getting from Salvador Perez. Jack Caglione, I would put him very high on the
I don't have any idea what you're getting at
most important because if he ends up being what they think he was when they drafted him or anywhere close to that this year, they're winning the division. Like that's why he's the most important for that. If he ends up looking like he did last year to that extent, then their outfield is a mess again. And you're banking on Lane Thomas just bouncing back, which could happen. Isaac Collins hasn't played a spring training game yet because he had some platelet, plasma, something. We'll ask JJ Piccolo tomorrow about it, on his knees in the offseason. So I still think Caglianone's at the top of the list for me. And it's more of like he's just the swing of what the season could be, one way or the other.
I think it's an easy answer, not like on your end. I understand why people would answer Jack Caglianone, because anybody got an actual prediction? Like a good one. Like, can anybody on paper tell me pretty close to what they think Jack Caglianone's numbers are? And he's the tough one. Like, I've seen people be like, hey, would you lock in a 240 average, a 305 on base, and 30 homers? I'm like, yeah, I'd probably lock about that in.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I'm probably out. Because, like, I saw someone ask, would I lock in 20 homers and 250? I'm like, no thanks. I need more out of him than that.
The issue with Cags at some points out would just be like, hey, if you think he's batting 7th or 8th, how can he be the most important player? I guess I'm viewing the question more as like who can swing the entire season.
I guess
like obviously Bobby Wood Jr. to me is the most important Royal. It's just I already know if Bobby Wood Jr. suddenly is not on the team due to injury or something, they're screwed. Like we all agree. But I think you can just put him down in Sharpie of what you're going to get from Bobby Wood Jr. So it depends on how everybody wants to answer the question.
Is certainly not one of those guys that we've been able to Sharpie in.
No, but
he started
I would say
12 games 3 years ago, 32 2 years ago, and 13 last year.
Yeah, he's actually at least done it. But you're basically saying Cole Reagans because of the same aspect. If you get Cole Reagans being the good Cole Reagans and available, it's a huge difference for the entire season.
And part of the reason he's my answer is I feel like it's more likely if Cole Reagans pitches, I think I'm more likely to get, like, if Jack Caglianone plays, I'm not guaranteed good Jack Caglianone. If Cole Reagans simply pitches based on what I've seen in his major league career, I think he can cover up things he couldn't help cover up last year. Again, their starting rotation, I don't know if you look at the numbers, you're going to say, well, starting is not the reason they missed the playoffs. But could they have squeezed a few more wins out of a team that barely missed the playoffs? Had they had their number one starter a huge chunk of the year when they didn't have offense going the early? Could he have stolen them some wins in April and May when they couldn't hit worth a lick? Maybe. And because of all the injury stuff, maybe he might have been pitching during that time, maybe right after May.
Because they made up for it when Noah Cameron got called up because they got way more out of him than they ever thought. But you're right, April and May, and it goes back to even Vinny's comments offensively. We've been saying this for years about the Royals. April is just so important. I know overall, teams have bad Aprils and bounce back, but for this organization, it is still April is just so massive. I also just think for the fan buy-in and just for the fan psyche and the negativity that you and I both know will exist, if they get out to a 3-8 start or something, hopefully it's not that bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
don't put that juju out here.
How about 3-7, 3-6, which is very possible. But if the offense is struggling and they're already 4 games under 500 by the middle of April, people are going to panic.
Oh yeah, and maybe rightfully so. I don't know. It just depends on which version of it you think you're going to get. And look, there's other important players, and obviously there's big swing stuff. And you're right. In some capacities, there's just players that I feel like I can count on. Like I can give you at least in the ballpark of what I think a number of Royals players will do. Maybe it's not the answer for all of them, but I can at least tell you roughly what some of the performance I think I'm going to get out of some of those guys is. And so I'm just banking on that a little.
Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll talk college basketball. Kansas got absolutely embarrassed at Allen Fieldhouse on Saturday, and then it's a quick turnaround tonight. Big Monday against top 10 Houston. So we'll discuss some college hoops. Don't forget, though, when we talk baseball, our spring training coverage on 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Park and Go, the best deal on airport parking. You mentioned you had a question. You were at the mall this weekend. You were out kind of by me, somewhat. I guess not quite as far south, but closer.
But closer than normal, out that direction. So I guess the question I had is, so I told you my kid's really into basketball right now. So everything he wants to do is basketball and all this other stuff. And so he was asking about like a jersey. Okay. Not logical, right? He doesn't own any baseball or football or whatever. I don't own a lot of jerseys. We don't wear a lot of jerseys. I didn't wear a lot of jerseys as a kid. So it's not like a regular purchase in our house, but he was asking about a Steph Curry jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. Logical, right?
For sure.
So, while we're at the mall, we can make that a stop and pin out. Is everybody actually paying this price, or are we all just getting knockoffs? I guess is my question.
It's really bad now.
A youth jersey for my small 7-year-old.
Is it $80, right? Or 90? Is it $100 now?
$100 for one jersey. So my question is, are you all? I've seen kids in jerseys.
Yeah, my nephews have a bunch of them.
Are you all paying this price per jersey, Or is there a hookup or a connect or something I need to know about that I'm not in on that I need to know about now because $100 each time I get a jersey is nuts.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact scenario, but I know my nephews have quite a few, and a lot of it has been also for. So I got a Wimby one for my nephew a couple birthdays ago. So some of it is let them build up. I did that year. That some of it is, Cody, you have use it for like the. So not that you should go out and buy 4 different jerseys, but
oh, God no.
So next birthday, that's what you tell everybody that's what he wants, and people, whether it's gift cards towards purchasing one or purchasing the actual jersey, you got to do it something like that. But as you know, like my nephews, they wear the basketball jerseys all the time. The kids wear it at school all the time.
Can we get like a hand-me-down situation here? Because you can only wear it so long, and they're $100 a piece. I think we should be better in the hand-me-down department.
There are ways, Cody.
You got connections? All I need to know is if everybody's paying this.
No,
someone said, "Did you buy it?" No, I went online and tried to start looking instead. It wasn't the right size anyway. It was like the only small size they had was still one size too big, so it wasn't going to fit.
I'm sure
had it fit, I probably would have paid for it.
There are knockoffs that you can get.
Of course, they're out there. I think he's just saying, is that what people are doing for their kids? In
terms of quality,
the websites we all know. There's the websites out there.
I've seen all this stuff with Fanatics lately. Are we talking about a huge discount difference? I'm just asking whether or not, I just didn't know if everybody was paying this price. And I just didn't realize that everybody was out here buying $100 jerseys every time their kid wants to dress like somebody. People are listening.
Does he watch the NBA?
Like, we watched a little bit of the Golden State game yesterday.
So he's locked into
you like
Curry.
Steph?
Well, Steph's hurt right now, so he was on the bench. But
yeah, he's been going through.
He wants to play more than he wants to watch it still. So we signed him up for a league.
Let's go.
So he's in a league. And, and then he was like, yeah, give me something to do. It's like, I do 100 dribbles in a row and then dribble backwards. But we don't have a hoop. And my yard is awful for it.
Get those handles. Get the handles.
That's all.
And then Desmond will be ready to go.
You should buy him honestly, so my nephews love this, and it want to keep them busy, but also their dribbling skills got better. The dribble up, have you seen that?
The mat?
No,
okay.
It's basically you can use a phone or an iPad with it, but it's this basketball. And it tracks. It's good for learning how to basically dribble a basketball at a high level without and get really good and proficient with it. But it's called Dribble Up. It's very popular.
Have him do some windshield wipers. Do a spider a little bit.
That's what my nephews loved it. And it got them way better at dribbling.
And this would probably make it so that I don't have to keep giving him random drills in the house. He can just follow this Dribble Up thing.
Yeah.
Oh, now
you hook it up to an iPad. It's a software program, and it's, I don't know, maybe it runs $60. Comes with a specific ball that tracks through the software or something.
Oh, okay. I might be better buying him the jersey.
Much better at basketball or
he did
dribbling.
He didn't get the jersey, Drew, but he got some sneakers.
There we go.
He wanted some basketball shoes, as he put it. So we got him some. He got some Giannis
nice.
Immortal 4s or something.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
But he got some Giannis sneakers, which he was very excited about.
There we go. I love it.
All right, up next, let's keep talking basketball. College hoops. Kansas embarrassed on Saturday, and then they turn around and have a huge game tonight against Houston. Plus, Darren Peterson drama continues. We'll get to that right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
This is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford. Fresh off a record-breaking year and a successful run at Ford's 2025 Top Volume Award. Rob, how did you do it?
Kevin, it's simple. We pulled out all the stops on price, on trade values, on inventory, and made sure our customers got an experience they couldn't find anywhere else.
Well, the race isn't over. 2026 is here, and you're back in the chase again.
That's right, and we're going even harder this year. More inventory, more aggressive trade-in values, and a buying experience other dealers just can't match.
Well, you're not just talking, you've got the receipts. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by KC Magazine.
The recognition matters, but what actually matters is how you feel when you call or visit Rob Seid Ford.
Inventory, value, transparency, and no pressure. That's why people keep coming back.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit us online at robsight.com.
Rob Seid Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions in unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Get front door bonuses like 5 Great Life golf rounds, Golf to Mules National, free balls, sim time with Barry's Golf and Groove, and Birdie's Indoor Golf. And get an Advent Health Championship ticket, all while they last. Saturday the 28th is Women's Day, presented by Elevated Home Team and Keller Williams Realty Partners. Test drive Callaway, Mizuno, Cleveland, and more with Golf MD. See the new RMI carts. Play the Edwards Jones Straight Drive, Genesis of Kansas City Long Putt, and the Midwest Golf Innovation Simulator. Get lessons with Imperial Golf. Roll it with Extreme Green and Evolved putters. Relax in Yingling Flight's 19th hole. Savor samples from Tito's Vodka and Booth Creek Wagyu. All at the Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Thanks to WHB, Lake of the Ozarks Golf Trail, Visit Mississippi, Old Kinderhook, and Mulligan's Country Club. Kids under 12 are free. Tickets at KansasCityGolfShow.com.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Just getting started here on a Monday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you.
I might just order this dribble up thing today.
Desmond will love it.
The only problem is like right now
with
I've been enjoying the quietness of the indoor.
Send him down in the basement
soft
to play with it.
Basketball, not the actual sound of dribbling.
Have him do that in your basement.
Yeah.
And then once the weather gets warm enough, he'll be able to go outside.
You do set it up with like a little tripod on an iPad or something, though, so I don't know if you'll want that outside. Drop the iPad and then you're screwed.
That's it.
But
He's got a pretty thick case on his iPad right now.
Yeah.
So
coming up in about 8 minutes, I do want to get into something I thought we all figured was going away in the NFL. And now it sounds like there's some momentum for it to stay. I'm not very happy about it. We'll tell you what that is in just a second. But let's talk some college basketball. KU plays Houston tonight. Massive top 10 game at Allen Fieldhouse. But on Saturday, Kansas just kind of sleptwalked through that game against Cincinnati, and they got embarrassed. Big 12 conference game against Cincinnati. Not a good Cincinnati team. Probably not a tournament team. 84-68 was the final. And for a while, even at the 7.5-minute mark, Kansas was down 4. You were waiting for like the big run. You were waiting, like even it felt like the crowd was waiting.
Allen Fieldhouse.
The crowd was waiting for the big run to come, and it never did. Cincinnati went on 11-0 run and ended up beating up on Kansas, and it was very evident they just had no energy. It was, give Cincinnati some credit, but that was a pitiful performance from KU. And of course, it comes in a game, Cody, where Darren Peterson plays 30+ minutes.
Yep.
And that's what, just add this to the bizarre nature of where things are at with Darren Peterson.
I'll tell you, I thought the Kansas team had really turned the corner. Like they were going through the hot, and I didn't think they were going to win every game for the rest of the year. But I felt like, all right, Kansas turned the corner. They figured themselves out. Oh no, they lost a game to Iowa State. Big deal. Iowa State on the road, didn't think all that hard about it. Sure. But I thought they had figured out their rotations, figured out how to play with and without Darren Peterson, in fairness, where they had a system in place for both. And then I watched that Cincinnati game. It didn't look like they knew how to play at all. Not just because they shot poorly, and they did just shoot poorly, right? Sometimes basketball can be as simple as the run's not going to happen if nobody makes a shot.
Yeah, but they just got out-rebounded 40-29 on the glass.
That was, especially with Flory and the type of team that they built around it and the type of defender he is, that is shocking. They looked like a team that was out of sorts and let one. I don't know if they were just, the players made me, in listening to them in post, made me feel like maybe they overlooked Cincinnati. Self-claimed that was not the case, but the players certainly, their post-game comments made me think that at least that was a part of the mix. And then they get Houston tonight.
Yeah, and Houston lost to Arizona at home over the weekend.
They're coming off of back-to-back very difficult losses. Close ones, mind you, but back-to-back losses, which could threaten their chance at a number 1 seed. And so they're a very desperate team. You're a very desperate team. And right when I felt like we had Kansas figured out, I got nothing again. And now, I will say, for the first time all year, the national media pundits, including anonymous NBA personnel, says, I'd be very concerned about taking a guy like, and so all of that has...
Bill Simmons, who 6 months ago was comparing him to Kobe Bryant, is now saying he's not sure if he's going number 1 overall.
So, like, for the first time, the public, I'm not saying the team narratives.
Yeah.
The public narrative has started to shift in the sense that maybe you can't take him 1. Because DeBansta, and this is what's funny about the juxtaposition, of course, and hurts him. DeBansta got asked, Drew, you probably saw this. He had a big game on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
And he got asked about, he played all 40 minutes. He's like, I'd play 100 minutes or whatever it was. Like, to drag me off the court, I'll give them everything they need.
He said, if they need me to play 40 minutes, I'll play 40 minutes. He played every single solitary second of that game.
And that's been the whole thing for those that keep mentioning NIL. That's not what this is with Darren Peterson. Because, DeBonce's doing it. Cam Boozer out in Duke is doing it. And Duke, of course, played Michigan in a top 5 game over the weekend as well. Potential Final Four type of matchup between Arizona and Houston, and Duke and Michigan. And here we go tonight. So it's great that Darren Peterson played 30+ minutes in a losing effort against Cincy. But tonight, guys, against Houston, are we going to see him play 30+ minutes on this stage in a game where they certainly need him if they want to beat a very, very good Houston team?
I think Houston, obviously, we know is very good on defense. I think they're going to make it uncomfortable they're going to make it like the Iowa State game. He was uncomfortable, I think, against Iowa State. They made it hard for him in every capacity. I think it's going to be a very similar way tonight. And not that they're going to do anything dirty, obviously, but they will they will make it very uncomfortable for him offensively, which we know that's obviously the place where he shines most.
And KU's a home dog on a big Monday again. Just
And
a
last
couple
time that
Mondays
happened,
ago.
we said we were right
Against
in
Arizona.
saying, but I don't know. I can't. Knowing Kansas and the way this season's got, they probably win tonight, which is insane because Houston is a very, very, very good basketball team. One of the 5 to probably 8 best teams in the country. And Kansas, who had been playing like one of the 5 to 8 best teams in the country, all of a sudden is getting boat raced at home by Cincinnati. And like, we've all seen the stats. Do you realize how few games Bill Self has just lost at home in general? In his time as the Kansas basketball coach, it's like less than 20 or something. His record at home is nuts.
He's 40. So there's some numbers around this. He's 40-0 on Big Monday.
Yep.
KU hasn't lost back-to-back games at Allen since 1988 and 89, since that season.
And you're getting points.
And also, Kelvin Sampson could be the first coach to win 2 games over Bill Self in Allen, and Houston hasn't lost 3 straight games since 2017. So there's a lot on the line tonight for both of these teams from a historical perspective.
Yeah, and Myron Metcalf of ESPN had a story out today, and he said he flew to Lawrence over the weekend or whatever, last week I guess would have been, and he sat down and talked to Darren Peterson. Because I think, Drew, you brought it up a week or so ago, and it's like, hey, Darren Peterson never talks to the media, and what's going on there? And it's not that, KU is just not allowing anybody to talk to him. This goes back to, his team, his team, whether it's dad, his agent, whoever. They have not made him available, but they felt comfortable enough to talk to Myron Metcalf, at least, of ESPN, who does a great job. And there's some interesting quotes from that. One from Darren Peterson, just about availability. Quote, "Before I'm out here being a liability, I'd rather just let someone else play that can give it 100%. So he is still maintaining that he doesn't feel that in a lot of these games he's 100%, and his mindset is he's basically saying, I'm not playing unless he's able to give 100%. And that's problematic because I'm sure if you talk to any high-level athlete, you're not going to be 100% every time. You're just not. It's a grind. It's a long basketball season.
I mean,
you're just not.
So, like you said, any professional
I understand if you're like, well, if I can't go 100%, I'll let someone else. I'd rather just let someone else play. That explains everything. That's exactly what's been happening. He feels something. He doesn't feel 100% right, and he's like, well, I'm out of the game. I need you playing even if you're 85%, dude.
So
I don't know, passing the ball occasionally to help other people score.
I think you can view it, because he only has 1 assist in his last 3 games.
Yeah, it's not.
I think you can view it from both sides of the spectrum on this. Where I think him making that comment is, well, he just isn't willing to play through pain, which is where you bring up, well, is he actually worth the number 1 overall pick and all these other things? Because if that flares up, is he going to be like, yeah, I'm out? On the other side, it's the team aspect of. I think the team is better when I'm not 100%, but in fairness to Darren is such a talent that him at 80% is better than Elmarco Jackson playing on the floor. I think we all can agree with that, even at 80%.
Here's the full context of the quote, if we're being fair. This is from Myron Metcalf's piece. So Darren Peterson was asked about why he didn't play in the Arizona game. Right? A couple Mondays ago, we know that was the flu game, or what? Not the flu game, but you know what I mean, where he didn't play because of the flu. He was asked about it. Quote, I didn't feel good really the whole day, but I was like, I'm going to try to go out and warm up and see if I can. I don't know. I thought the fans yelling or something would maybe give me a little extra boost or something, but it just didn't work that night. My legs were heavy and stuff, and I was like, before I'm out here being a liability, I'd rather just let someone else play that can give it 100%. So that quote is he's saying in direct relation to the Arizona game.
Just to play. Yeah.
And the Arizona game.
Is a fair comment.
It's fair, but that quote, while he's talking about being sick and not playing in the Arizona game, I think that last sentence there, before I'm out here being a liability, I'd rather just let someone else play that can give it 100%. I feel like that's what he's been doing, even with the cramps, though, and even with any issue that comes up.
Yeah, I don't. In terms of how it affects the team, I would say it's more of I think the cramps has been affecting just the chemistry and all the other things that go along with it. I think he also isn't. I don't know if he's giving himself enough credit for how good he actually is when he says that, though. Like, I understand, like the idea of not wanting to be a liability. Understandable, but I think that he's in a way underselling how good he actually is, where even if you're not 100%, you're still one of the best college basketball players in America, and if you're able to gut it out, especially when it comes down to tournament time, then I think that's something that, like, Darren knows how good he is. I'm sure of that, and I think that he's viewing it from a team lens, which is great, obviously, but in the same respect, if you know you're that guy And this team is good when you're out there on the floor and you can bring something to the table. Maybe it's not as many minutes, and maybe Bill Self can work around that. I think
maybe it's a distraction for the other players. You're on the court and they think you might shoot and you can pass more.
If we know you're on a minute restriction, or maybe Bill's like, hey, coach, I'm 80%. I want to play, though. Bill Self is going to utilize you, I think, in a different way than just assuming you're good, play for the first half, and then 2 minutes in the second half, all right, you're done. I think he would spread things out a little bit better, and at least from a team perspective, they're going to know what you're able to give and have a plan going forward instead of not knowing until the moment it happens, hey, coach, I need to go because I don't feel like I can bring it.
Yeah, another portion of this Myron Metcalf piece that I thought was interesting, because Peterson just hasn't talked to anybody else, so this is the first time we're even hearing his side of some of it. Quote, everybody's got an opinion on it, but basketball is my life. If I could have been out there every game this year, I would have. If you would have asked me last year what were my goals for this year, I would never mention missing games. So all this kind of stuff just happened, but I've got to deal with it. People are going to say, well, then what's the... I still don't think we have the full story. Like, Jeff Goodman had an interesting comment on his Field of 68, his show or podcast. I think this was on Saturday night, maybe. And he was kind of alluding to the fact that, one, they don't, that he doesn't talk and explain his story. And he said, I think if people knew his story, people would feel bad for him. Well, now that involves a ton of speculation for me to. Are we talking about? It could be so many different things. Well, if that's the case, then why don't? If there's any quote unquote baggage that's there, you don't think NBA teams during the draft process are going to find out? If there's a medical issue, you don't think NBA teams are going to find out then? So what is it?
Yeah, I've run into this. He's not the first athlete ever where this has been the case, where people are like, hey, if you just knew, well, then tell me. What's the harm in letting me know
I do think
what's going on if you think it only makes your player look better?
I think if he were willing to, and he might catch some heat for it, and maybe his camp is advising him not to do that. But I legitimately think that if he sat down, let's say they play tonight against Houston, and regardless of the result, he's like, hey, regardless of how he plays, hey, I'm going to go ahead and sit down, and I'm going to talk. And at least give, not just relying on rumors or hearing this from he said, she said, it's Darren Peterson sitting down at the podium. This is what I'm going through. Here, let me tell you about it. And you can take it for what you will, but I'm going to lay it out for you. I think at least from that point, Cody, to what you're saying, him at least talking, I think in a setting, you can't help but respect him for that, because it sounds like he's avoiding it because he doesn't want to feel bad or doesn't want to get slammed. He's getting slammed now. So you might as well come on out and say whatever you're going through or whatever you've got to say, and people are going to have to deal with it however they may. But I think him saying it himself and going to the podium and talking would do himself a world of good, at least from the lens of how we discuss his play, lack thereof, availability, and all the other things.
Again, I think all this stuff, the only quote unquote, the only fix, if you will, is it's March, and he plays 30+ minutes every game in March, and he comes up with big moments and big shots, and they go on a deep run.
But you know
that's the only way people will change their feeling about the situation a little bit.
Yeah,
but if this is a thing in March, man, then this is his legacy. What is going on right? This is his legacy. The only way he changes it is if he does something special in March and actually plays basketball.
Yeah, but if he goes out there and plays 32 minutes and he scores 20, but they lose like they did to Cincinnati,
I agree. That's what I'm saying. They can't lose in the first round.
Yeah, but this is where if Darren Peterson scores 25 points and they lose in the first round, we cannot blame Darren Peterson in the fact that he should have been better.
I can, in the sense that
I don't think
team
I think that is.
Well, you would agree he's hurt not that his teammates don't like him. They obviously love the guy. Anybody that says that is wrong, that they don't get along. But the growth of the team, well, on one hand, it's been beneficial to play without him, but they haven't had many opportunities to play with him. Therefore, it has hurt the team.
No, I understand that. But if he goes out and plays well and plays 30 minutes, you cannot blame them losing on Darren Peterson.
It depends on what I mean.
If Darren Peterson
if he plays terribly.
If Darren Peterson scores 20 points in a NCAA tournament game and they lose in the first round to a 14 seed who just get
extreme. They lose in the first round. I'll tell you this: there's no scenario where they lose in the first round to a 14 seed and he scores 25. Like, that's just not even in the cards. They could lose. I'm not saying they can't lose to a 14 seed. No, you're laughing, but like that's what I'm saying.
I'm not going to say anything is impossible.
Okay, all right.
Because we've seen
Kansas
good
can lose
games
to
and teams lose.
Kansas can lose. Round. Sure, of course. I'm a KU fan. I've seen them lose to Northern Iowa. I'm well aware of upsets happening in the tournament. I'm just saying Darren Peterson scoring 25 in the first round game against a 14 seed, that's not a game they lose. Those two don't jive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got terrible news, I think, in the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw this report this morning. Adam Schefter is saying that the competition committee is, and there seems to be, a decreased tush-push debate with no guarantee of a new vote this offseason, according to sources. So after all this, Rich McKay was reporting that he doesn't think that there'll be a lot of rule change votes this year. After all this, I'm still going to have to watch the tush-push? We're not getting rid of it? After 17 primetime close-up angles of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line starting early, I'm still stuck with this thing? One, I think it's a disservice because if you can't, you already told me it's impossible to officiate. So unless you're going to tell me you increase the ability to officiate it so that you actually call these false starts and not allow them to get away with it, well, then I need it to be gone anyway. And the bigger issue being, as it relates to Kansas City, if this rule isn't going away, Gold, Andy, got to get off the couch. We're done. You're a part of this. This is the game now. You have to participate in the tush push. It does not have to be with Patrick Mahomes. I'm not a hard ass like that. It has got to be with a tight end, a backup quarterback, a running back. I don't care who it is. Somebody has to run this play if they're not going to get rid of it. And now, based on this reporting, I deeply fear it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's weird. What's the shift? Is it because the Eagles aren't a number one team anymore? Why the change? Everybody, I thought, pretty much came to the conclusion that this was going away and that this offseason they were going to vote. And right now, there's no proposal from a single team. What changed? Is it because the Eagles, now everybody realized, well, maybe the Eagles aren't a problem anymore?
It makes other teams realize they could use it.
Well, I'll say this. It's all about the officiating aspect for me. Like, if you're not going to ban a play, then you better call it correctly. You better call the false starts correctly. You better watch the right guard and find out if he's moving a half second early. And if you say, well, we can't determine that, well, then that's why the play needs to go away. It's not just because, hey, it's an effective play and it's not an appealing play and it's boring as hell to watch, which it is. But the bigger issue is, can you officiate a play properly? If you can't do that, then it shouldn't be around. And it's odd to me that there's no momentum. I agree with you on the Chiefs side of it. If this play is not going away, do what we've been discussing for 2 or 3 years. I don't care if it gives something away. Put your backup quarterback in. It's 3rd and 1. It's 4th and inches. And if you think that's a play you can run, I don't care whoever the backup is, whether it's Gardner Minshew or Jameis Winston or whoever the backup's going to be here in 2026. Take Mahomes out of the game. You're like, well, you don't want to take your best player out of the game. Well, if it's a play that's that effective, then I'm fine with it. And if you want to get tricky with it, you can have Mahomes on the field at the same time as well. Have them both back there. I don't care.
It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, if it's just like a motion in and you guys, it's always a motion in. So either sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't do it. But if they're not going to get rid of the tush push, which again, I think is a mistake, and not just because the Eagles ran it in a Chiefs game in which they started early and they won, the Chiefs stunk. It's not about, and I think the first time we brought it up wasn't even against the Chiefs. This is not a Chiefs specific thing just because they beat them in a Super Bowl or this. It is an ugly play. And my biggest problem is what you said. It is impossible to officiate. You know how I know that? Because I watched 78 close-ups of the Eagles and other teams false starting. And like, if you're going to call a flag on Jawan Taylor every 30 seconds for the rule he breaks, which is false starting, then fine, let's get in the game here. We can't allow this play to take place. But if they are going to allow it, Andy, you don't get to be on the sidelines of this. It is far too successful of a play on aggregate. You have one of the best centers in football. There's absolutely no reason for this not to be a part of your playbook in some capacity. Again, I don't care if it's Robert Tonyan, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew. I don't care the player who does it. Because in all, that is less important, other than they need to have a strong lower body, than the player itself doing it. Just practice it, use it, utilize it. Please don't just go another season where I think part of the reason Andy never got involved in it is because he thought it was always going to go away. But if it's not, like that, it has to be, right? Why does 90% of the league use some version of it but him?
They tried it years ago with Blake Bell, right? They had the Belldozer pack. It's kind of like what the Seahawks do with Barner or whatever. They're tied in.
Yep.
I don't know if they've completely gone away from it altogether. I think moving forward, it's got to be part of the offense in some form. And I know they would say, well, Kareem Hunt was more effective in short yardage than the tush push was this year. That would be their argument. Because remember that was the whole storyline in like November randomly. It was like the Chiefs have a play that's more effective than the tush push, and it's the Kareem, whatever they called it. There was a name even for Kareem Hunt's thing. I don't remember. What was it?
Remember.
It
And
wasn't,
that was just
it
like a run
wasn't,
up the middle.
it wasn't a good name. But
No, it was like the Kareem slant. I don't remember what it was, but it had a bad
the
name.
Hunt Bunt or something stupid.
Is that what it was? The Hunt Bunt?
I don't know.
That sounds right, actually.
Is it?
I think that's right.
Okay.
A pretty bad name. But it doesn't, I mean, is Hunt back on the team?
I don't think he should be, but
I just don't think you can ignore a play that everybody in the NFL runs. I mean, that's crazy to me. If 31 of 32 teams run this play, it must work. I'm sorry. You can't be the only team and be like, I don't know, man. What do that 31 other teams know that we don't? Again, it doesn't have to be a sneak with Mahomes. He's clearly never going to run that ever. I've long since given up on that dream, but there can be the version of it that still exists. I'm just disappointed it's not going to go away. Somebody says that Eagles-Giants game, and it's like they don't call the fumbles when they exist. It can like only
forward
benefit.
progress part.
It's crazy. It's and again, I don't even think it's the ref's fault. I do genuinely think it is a very, very, very hard play to officiate. I think it's hard to see that quick. I think the human eye is probably not trained to operate. I think it's very difficult to see. And the quick whistle where you're trying not to get the quarterback killed, part of your job, and allowing the play to continue. You know, it's like you're stuck in no
like it's not a football play. It's not. Or it's watching rugby. And sometimes 3 plays in a row if it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I just don't get why is there, if it's true what Schefter's saying, why is the momentum just gone away? You think it's because other teams are using it. I think it is because the Eagles aren't as relevant. My issue with banning was never because it's the I hate the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles.
But they do like doing stuff based on relevance.
I know. It's like I don't like the Eagles, but it was never just like if the Buffalo Bills were doing it all the time, I would still have the same take. Like it can't be officiated and it's a boring ass play.
I don't care if it's the Raiders. It's a bad team. I don't want to watch it.
I don't like the fact that the momentum has died, and I think part of it might be because people look at Nick Sirianni, the Eagles, and now no longer do they think they're one of the top teams. So they're like, all right, whatever. That's not why we should have been getting rid of it to begin with.
Our resident tush push expert, Jay Binkley, just texted me and said teams have said they don't like the language that you can't push players anywhere
told
on
me
the
the
field
Chiefs,
because they all do the tush push.
Yeah, I've heard the whole thing about down the field.
Pulling
the
guys in
Chiefs,
the end zone.
I've heard that about 100 times. Yeah, I
thinks that's why teams don't
want
like
to do
it because it takes that.
So change
away.
the wording and make it a little more. Change the wording to where it doesn't apply to that. To somebody can change the wording to where it fits that. It appeases some of these other teams.
It's weird. It wouldn't bother me if NFL teams weren't allowed to push their players anymore, and that you just had to like use your own momentum to.
The Chiefs do use it a lot.
Succeed. I know they do. I know. They'll figure it out like any other team. It would equally impact everybody. I don't know.
Coming up next here on Cody and Gold, there's some momentum for a possible move involving a Chiefs player. We'll get to that, and we'll also talk more about USA winning gold in men's hockey. And
Gold's taking a chance he shouldn't take.
Yeah, Cody's concerned for my safety, I think. We'll get to that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's that time of the year where maybe you're already starting to think about your summer vacation. Or you're at least planning perhaps where you want to go, what kind of road trip you want to have. Do you have to rent a car? Do you have a vehicle you can count on? Well, at Shawnee Mission Ford, they are the place to go if you're looking for that next vehicle, whether it's a pre-owned vehicle where they have over 100 of them on the lot right now, or looking ahead to new vehicles. I'm driving a brand new 25 Bronco right now, and you can save an additional $2,000 with bonus cash that they're passing on to their customers right now. So on a 25 Bronco, that's $7,000 off MSRP, or $9,000 off MSRP on a 25 Explorer, $6,000 off on a Bronco Sport, $5,000 on a 25 Expedition or F-150. If you follow me on social media, you've seen I've been taking some video of driving the Ford Bronco, or when I had the F-150 and some of the features I'm highlighting, whether it's a blue cruise in an F-150 or Expedition, or the ability to pop the top off on the Ford Bronco as we get some of the nicer days. Maybe not today when it's cold, but we're back to 65 or something tomorrow as well. Go to Shawnee Mission Ford. They're going to take care of you throughout the entire process. Even after you buy the vehicle, they have mobile service, so they'll come out to your work. They'll come out to your home to actually change your oil, to take care of any routine maintenance, just part of the service that they offer at Shawnee Mission Ford, where they're on a mission to do more.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 of President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 profit boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
Wendy's has a new Girl Scout Thin Mints Frosty Fusion with Girl Scout Thin Mints cookie pieces, rich creamy frosty, and a mint chocolate cookie sauce. Which means Girl Scout Thin Mints and Wendy's Frosty, yeah, they're basically best friends now. It's like two delicious desserts just high-fived, snapped a few too many friendship selfies, and then rode a tandem bike down a never-ending road of mint chocolate frosty perfection. So swing by Wendy's and try the new Thin Mints Frosty Fusion.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
If you're looking for more NFL draft coverage, go subscribe and follow the Character Concerns podcast with Bink and Chris on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in 20 minutes. Some controversy out in Arizona. We'll explain what's going on there. We also will get right back into USA men's hockey, which, of course, won a gold medal for the first time since 1980 yesterday, their win over Canada. I want to talk more about how that all played out and how everybody was watching that, the fallout from it. And then Cody's worried about something that I'm doing later this week. And he's not happy, I think, with what I told the boss. So we'll find out what's the issue here in just a couple of minutes. But there seems to be some momentum as we head closer to the league year. I know the combine starts this week, but the reality of, like, there's a real possibility one of the Chiefs' top players, one of the pillars of this organization, could get traded. And we have, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 other times at least over the last 4 months discussed Trent McDuffie. And hey, why would it make sense to trade Trent McDuffie? Yeah. Why wouldn't it make sense to trade Trent McDuffie? Do you think it's more likely happening now than you did a couple weeks ago?
Yes. And I think the reason is, and I still think it's like maybe a 25% chance. So I don't actually predict that it is something that occurs. They're at a crossroads with his contract and have to make a determination based on that. But I don't think it's an accident that every single article, like Daniel Jeremiah writes, oh, the Cowboys trade for McDuffie here or this. Before, it was just us on this show kicking it around. It wasn't being kicked around nationally. We had just simply started to bring it up based on the idea of it makes logical sense.
Well, once we saw the Sauce Gardner trade, that's really when it started. You're like, wow, that's quite a bit of compensation for a corner.
Yeah, and I think that that's what's happening internally for the Chiefs is they are probably entertaining it more than ever based on the idea of, wait, what is the compensation on the street for this guy? Because, you know, we could go Watson, and there are other decent corners available in free agency who we can pay less than Trent McDuffie, and they are in a position now where there is going to have to be some player that is good that they don't pay. And up to this point, has there been one? They're paying all of them. Like, they've paid Creed and Trey and Mahomes, and, you know, we'll figure out with Kelsey or anything else, but they even paid those guys to come back and everyone else in between. They have not let very many good players go other than corners, right? L'Jarius Sneed, who they eventually traded, Charvarius Ward. Those have been the ones in the Brett Veach era they've actually been willing to part from. But I have seen at least 4 national articles that reference the possibility of a McDuffie trade. And I think that's why I do believe that there's real momentum. I don't think everyone just unilaterally decided, hey, let's start writing about it. I think they're starting to hear that the Chiefs might actually entertain.
No, I think there's a real chance. I would not say it's like extremely likely it happens, but yeah, I think it is.
You don't think it's better than
50%? This trade, if it ever were to happen, should not catch you off guard at this point. I think there's real conversation to be had by the Chiefs, and I think even with fans about what it would look like. Now, they do not have to give him an extension this offseason. They could play out this final year. They could even tag them the year after, Cody. And so they could run this thing for another 2 years if they wanted to buy themselves some time. But the reason why you look at it now is because given his age and everything, his value is higher this offseason than what it'll be in a year or two, potentially. The Sauce Gardner compensation, I don't think they would ever get that, but you have to find out. You have to at least call around and find out what kind of interest is there from teams. Trent McDuffie's a hell of a player, and we've said it over and over. By all accounts, a really good dude, the type of player you want on your team.
Kind of like the Vinny thing. You could also just like contractually hold him hostage here, essentially.
Yep. And so, I think this is also dependent on your belief in where you're at of 26 versus where you want it, where you think you are in 2027 as a team. And competitiveness. Also, their actions in free agency are going to tell us quite a bit. Because if they were to re-sign Jalen Watson or spend decent money on another corner or something, well, then that tells us quite a bit about their plan. If they let Watson walk and it's McDuffie, Noah Williams, and Christian Fulton a month from now, and the draft at that point is a month out, then it gets kind of interesting. Do you think they're in a position where they can actually do that? We talked a lot about Caleb Downs last week. and how he's probably a name by the end of this week. Him and Jeremiah Love, my guess, are going to be two names that Chiefs fans really start talking more and more about. Caleb Downs and Love.
Love only if they don't sign a free agent running back.
For sure. And we're going to talk about a back that's no longer available for free agency coming up in the Chiefs Red Half Hour. I just wonder if they believe Caleb Downs is somebody that they can supplement that with. But the problem is you don't know for sure he's there at 9. And so that's why I wonder if McDuffie, if you even were to trade him, is he a draft night trade?
What percentage chance would you put it at? I'm like 25%. So I'm nowhere near the it's a 50-50 proposition that actually occurs.
35, 40%
Okay,
chance?
so you're pretty high. Yeah. Like it's
still more likely he doesn't. I don't know how I could be that it's most like, has to be below 50.
It's an all-pro player.
You don't trade those players very often, but it happens. I mean, the Cowboys are unique, but they traded away Micah Parsons.
And the text line said loser organizations trade away their best players.
I disagree with that, actually.
Look, I do understand. Trent McDuffie, if we rank out the best players in the entire Chiefs, pound for pound, right? Forget the positional importance. We are just at their job, who is the best? He's in the top 5. He's one of the 5 best Chiefs on the team. I get it. Mahomes is 1. Creed Humphrey's somewhere in there. We can argue about Chris Jones, whatever.
He's probably top 3.
He's probably 3. Yeah. And so, if you include positional importance, he's probably 2.
Yeah.
And so once you start getting into it, I understand the importance of the level of player is. Some of this, and the reason why I think I've been more willing, and not just the compensation, because I understand it's not going to be Sauce Gardner compensation, but I still think it'd be a first-round pick. Because if it's anything less than that, you're not taking the deal anyway.
What if it's a first-round pick?
To me, it's not good enough. I need something else, but we're not far off. And also, where's the first-round pick, right?
Is it number 4? Is it number 20? Is it number 31?
A team trading for McDuffie, probably a team that's in the 20s. Don't you think?
Cowboys get mentioned a lot in their 2021.
Either that or somebody who desperately needs defense.
I don't know, Dallas, and I'm not saying you trade him to another team, but if you're Cincinnati, if you might take Mansour, why wouldn't you give up pick 10? Genuinely.
I don't know if I'd give pick 10 up. I'd give 2027 first round pick and maybe a future third.
Yeah, I mean, if I were the Chiefs and I could get the 10th overall pick, then it might only take a single pick because then the Chiefs have 9 and 10 in that scenario. Then we're talking.
It's weird where I think things can benefit both teams equally. I'm not just saying that that's a pick, because 10 is an important pick, obviously, and would be a big pick. But if you're Cincinnati and you're considering taking Caleb Downs or Mansour or some of these other defensive back safeties then wouldn't you rather? I mean,
I would take the argument is the argument is, of course, you'd have Caleb Downs or somebody on a rookie deal for 4 or 5 years.
I get it.
McDuffie, you're going to have to make him one of the highest, if not the highest paid corner in football. That's the argument of why.
But guaranteed all-pro talent.
For sure.
Right? That's the swing. Obviously, I understand the pay part, but guaranteed all-pro talent. And I understand that this is the risk Kansas City's taking in letting him go. Some of this is just my firm belief that the single best thing Brett Veach does job-wise is find corners, and the single best thing they do as a defensive coaching staff is coach corners. It is their strength. I don't know why. They're just great at it. It's the thing they do the best. So, it makes me more willing than I would normally be. If this was the same thing, but it was a defensive end, I'd be like, are you nuts? I wouldn't care. Be like, we'll give you Micah Parsons compensation. Don't care. Just sign the guy and keep him here. I'd have a zero tolerance policy if it was a defensive end that we were talking about, and it was massive compensation. Some of it is just a system's ability to handle it, and they just historically been good at that. Somebody says McDuffie is mid.
No, he's not.
I'm not there.
Is he a guy that's going to go get 5 interceptions? No. We all know that.
But he's claims your best wide receiver.
But he eliminates a wide receiver just about.
Unless you're 5 inches taller than him and 225 pounds stronger.
Yeah, he's the single best slot corner in the NFL by everybody's account. And what teams have now decided is the single most important corner position on the field. So, more than an outside corner, Drew, all NFL teams now value corner coverage and the slot more than any other coverage.
Because the good wide receivers float. Jamar Chase floats outside, he's inside. Amon-Ra St. Brown, same thing. CD will float inside. All of those guys play inside as much as they do on the outside, too.
I did see the Cowboys are likely to franchise tag, according to Steven Pickens.
Yeah, you have to. So. Yeah, you have to just play that one out more. I mean, you can't just let him hit the open market. So you got to buy yourself some time. And
I think there'd be a market for a trade, even if so. So there's no harm in really franchising, my guess.
We'll get to the trash of the day in about 8 minutes or so, but I do want to talk more about what was awesome yesterday. Of course, Sunday morning, maybe you got up early, maybe you're watching with the kids. I saw, again, a lot of people on their Instagram stories with their kids still in the pajamas or whatever, watching hockey with everybody and families and people going to bars yesterday morning. It was really cool, and of course, historical to see USA men's hockey get a gold medal for the first time since the Miracle on ice. And we started the show with it, and we talked about Jack Hughes, who is just a name that I know I don't think the three of us and most people will forget. That's a name that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, probably. Just that's what happens when you have a legendary goal like that.
Yep, you don't remember the
historical fashion, which is really, really cool. And the fact that fans, I think, recognize when the stakes are that high, the most casual people that watch, which is me for hockey, that when the stakes are high, hockey's incredible. And it still, to me, is why, if you want to tell me in the next 10 to 15 years we ever get another franchise in Kansas City,
I think
hockey to me would be the best for sustainability. I would love NBA, but I think NHL for this market would be incredible. And let's get the Royals and Chiefs taken care of first. But I was watching yesterday. Anytime I watch high stakes or go in person, hockey has not, like, quote unquote failed me, right? Like, I don't know much about hockey. I don't try to pretend I do. But when I go to games in person, the few I've been to, when I watch Stanley Cup playoff hockey, when I watch a gold medal game like yesterday, when it's at its peak, it's awesome. It is flat out awesome to watch.
I think it's pretty clear it would do very, very, very well in Kansas City because the action is great. The atmosphere is great. Tend to be a little bit smaller, kind of like an NBA game from like an arena standpoint, 15, 17, 18,000. But boy, it gets pumping. And the action is just quick. You can't help but kind of stay in the game the entire time you're watching.
That's a good point. So that was the thing yesterday, and this we won't get in the NHL, but because of the Olympic rule, there was not a ton of commercial breaks. That also helped. Like it was constant tension and flow because there were other than the intermission breaks, there were not commercial breaks. So it was constant hockey action.
Look, I just think that I think it'd work here. Plain and simple. I think it would work in Kansas City really well. And while I would prefer the NBA from I want to be able to talk the NBA, there's other parts of it, and just whatever the facets are, and like the superstar quality of it versus like the NHL, right? There's very few nationally known superstars, right? This kind of thing helps. There's big time stars, big NHL stars that some people have never heard of, right? Not regular casual sports fans. And so there's a lot of reasons. I think the NHL would work better. I just think it'd work better in Kansas City for a variety of reasons.
It fits the market is what I think it does.
It really does. And then meanwhile, Alex is going to be gone later this week, which we know.
Yeah.
You're going on a trip to Montreal.
Yeah, I'm flying out Thursday morning. I'm very excited. Never been to Canada. Never been up there. So something different.
So as a part of this, you are going to catch a hockey game in Canada. You're going to watch the Canadians play hockey in Canada.
Yeah, Thursday night.
A cool moment.
20,000 seat arena. It's one of the bigger ones in the NHL.
I heard you tell our boss that your intent in going to this game in Canada, mind you.
Well, this was planned before.
Is to wear a USA hockey jersey in attendance to the Canadians game. I don't want to find a new co-host as you get stabbed in the hockey ring.
I'm going to be fine.
Is he going to get his ass kicked, Drew?
I'm wearing...
Is some Canadian going to knock out his teeth like Jack Hughes?
Here's the thing. I'm excited to go there. I obviously had tickets to the game well before USA, hockey won the gold medal game yesterday. I purchased a USA hockey hoodie. Hopefully it gets here by Wednesday. If not, I won't be wearing it because it won't be here until it has to show up by Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm going, and you know me at a sporting event, like if someone wants to heckle, I'll laugh, and that's it. I'm not the type of person that's going to turn around and try to just start a fight.
You're not going to just start chanting USA in the guy's face?
No. So
that would get your ass kicked.
I'll laugh it off, and I'll be good. So that's why I think I'm good. I'm not going to be trying to cause a fight. I'm just going to be wearing a USA hockey. They're playing they're playing the New York Islanders. They're playing a team from the U.S. And Speck said I can't do this. I said I'll still be clapping for the Montreal Canadiens during the game. I'm not going to be like the jerk that's just rooting against Montreal all game. He's like, you can't root for Montreal if you're wearing a USA hockey jersey. I go, they're two different things. So it's an NHL. It's a league versus the country versus country.
So you're going to root for the Canadiens in their
Wearing
home
a
building.
Team
The
USA
Montreal
hockey-
Canadiens, yes.
Wearing a Team USA hoodie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not an Islander.
That's
I'm not
an interesting mix.
I'm not an Islanders fan.
No
I think
one's
this
an
is-
Islander fan. They don't exist. Islanders. It's one of the least liked teams in the league.
So you're worried about my safety. I told
A little,
Spec as
yeah.
well. I go, I'm not wearing the USA hockey jersey or hoodie around Canada the entire week. I'm wearing it to the hockey game, changing out of it. Like, I'm not going to a restaurant wearing that. I don't want my food getting messed up.
Spin it, yeah.
I'm not doing
Someone
that.
says they'll be too nice. So just shake your hand and let them stay in your house. Said they're too nice as a country.
That's my thing. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how nice Canada is.
I think the thing that actually might somebody, if you're cheering for a Montreal goal and they turn around and they're high-fiving people and they see you got a Team USA jersey.
I'm not sure they're giving you a high five.
I'm not sure they're giving you a high five, and they also might be like, "Hey, if you're going to cheer for my team, you need to take that off," or something along those lines. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't disagree with Alex's sentiment. It's like he's going to a game, he's going to root for the home team in one of the best home
that makes
environments
sense.
in hockey, but it is going to look weird that Alex in the USA hoodie is
Are there any
clapping
Americans
for
who
So are
play
you
for
saying-
Montreal?
I don't know.
That might be your argument.
Yeah, of course there are. Yeah. Not every member of the Montreal Canadiens is Canadian, for sure.
It's not a requirement.
One player on the Montreal Canadiens was on the national team for Canada, Suzuki or whatever his name is.
Were there any Americans on the?
No, there's no other players that were participating in USA Canada at the Olympics that are on either team I'm seeing on Thursday night.
I see a guy named Cole Caulfield who is an American. He's from Wisconsin, but I don't know if
That's
he
the
was on.
only
So are
one.
you guys-
Is that the only one they have?
Do you want me to just?
no,
There's another-
Lane Hudson?
There's a couple more.
Do you think I should just remain neutral then during the game? I shouldn't cheer for any goal.
I just don't know if you should wear the hoodie. Like if you
might be
want
more
to
than that.
I just think
have
it's-
the best experience, go there without the USA hoodie and
I'm not
cheer
saying
on,
to
cheer on
wear
the
a Canadian
Canadians.
shirt.
I'm gonna wear the USA hoodie if it comes in time. But I'm planning on cheering for the Montreal Canadiens. To me, it's so different. It's the NHL. Like you think that there were.
You saying they're unrelated?
Well, yeah, because if you were
First game back
let's
from
say-
break, mind you, by the way.
It is, yeah. So in their hockey's like a Chiefs game up there. So like my thing is, if you were a diehard NHL fan and Jack Hughes plays for the New Jersey Devils, right? Right? And you maybe hate the New Jersey Devils, but you were excited for Jack Hughes to score the game-winning goal for the US. So now when Jack Hughes goes and plays the Pittsburgh Penguins this week, you're not cheering for Jack Hughes and the Devils because he was on Team USA. No, you're still rooting for Pittsburgh in that scenario. So me going there trying to just be neutral and cheer for the Montreal Canadiens while wearing a USA hockey hoodie, I don't know why it's an issue.
96 hours after
Well,
a
that's the
U.S.
issue.
team waved a flag on the ice, dunking on the Canadians, you're rocking a USA hoodie in Canada for their first game of watching hockey after the U.S. beat them in a gold match. Feels like a chance to get your ass kicked. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's like the Trent McDuffie trade. You're at least 50-50. Like there's a 30% chance of an ass kicking.
If you want the best,
It's
if
not
you
out
want
of
the
the
experience that
question.
you're talking about, don't wear the hoodie and root on the Canadians and just
Well, I'm wearing the
enjoy
hoodie. If the hoodie comes in, that's not like
He
no.
said it's already decided?
Yeah, as long as the hoodie arrives.
I don't think anyone's going to care about who you're rooting for.
Cody, I paid for express shipping for this thing to get here by Wednesday. It better get here. I'm going to be pissed.
Did you order that
I'm
right after
returning
they
it.
won?
I ordered it Sunday morning. Yeah.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I thought about what I was going to wear to the Montreal. Because I'm like, am I going to buy a Montreal Canadiens hoodie? No.
No. I mean, but you could just wear like any shirt, right? You could just wear this.
I could. Oh, I could.
You know?
Well, I could. But this will be fun, and I'm not gonna trash talk.
Jake over on Twitch says Gold's going to end up on TMZ. American gets ass kicked at Canadian hockey.
Someone
game.
says I better have clothes on underneath that they're going to make me take the hoodie off. No, they're not.
We're going to forcibly take it off.
You
of
think
them?
I'm the first person to ever? Would you rather me wear an Islanders
Here's the question.
jersey?
If it seems like someone is, if a Canadian, like a standard looking, like stereotypical Canadian looks at your face and says, if you don't take that hoodie off, I'm going to kick your ass. Is it coming off?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious.
If I'm in the stands minding my own business and someone says, if you don't take that hoodie off, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm just going to laugh it off.
You say, are you serious, man?
I'm gonna be like, okay, basically, yeah.
If that happens, I will be browsing social media looking for a fight in the Canadians Islanders game because it sounds like that would happen in that case.
It's going to be fine. You guys are acting like I'm going to a third world country here and I'm going to be starting fights in the stands. I'm going to mind my own business. Okay. I just happen to have a hoodie supporting my country that just won a gold medal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. Like, I'm not going to go around saying this. I mean, that would be different.
Dear Canada, you.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be the jerk American up in Canada with that. No.
Some would say you are the jerk Canadian, though, by wearing the Team USA when they're not.
I can't support my country.
I legitimately think that more people would rather you wear the Islanders jersey and Islanders gear and root for
Canadians
only the Islanders.
Canadians
than
sure
wear
would.
a Team USA hoodie and cheer on their team.
Well, I'm not expecting for Canadians to come up to me and give me a round of applause for the gold medal match win gold medal game win.
I do really think it's not even you wearing the hoodie; it's you rooting on the Montreal Canadiens wearing the USA hoodie.
That part's the part that doesn't.
That part I think is what would bother them actually.
What?
But I've never been to a Canadian hockey game, so I can't say for sure. It doesn't that part doesn't bother me.
Do you
personally.
think though every single person that lives in Montreal, none of them were were U.S. citizens at one point in time? Like you think every single person that lives in Montreal was born in Montreal? Like there's people that are Canadian that live in the United States that root for a U.S. NHL team. They don't only root for the Montreal Canadiens.
I just think it's bad optics.
So it says next week, Cody and Weber.
So we'll see. I truly though, long before the USA Hockey thing, I'm excited to go to Montreal. And I've heard the atmosphere at those games are incredible. It's like going to a Chiefs game for hockey, and it's one of the best atmospheres in the NHL. And as you said, it's the first game back from the Olympic break, so should be an awesome atmosphere. I was stunned how expensive tickets are for that, but that's why it's like a Chiefs game. I thought I can get in for like $125. Nope. No.
To sit lower level?
I'm sitting. Yeah, I couldn't afford the lower level.
Are the Canadians good?
I'm sitting club level. Lower level was going to cost me $800. Although now, of course, ticket prices have gone down. I should have waited a few more days. I bought my club level tickets a day early, it turns out.
Oh, just one day early? Sometimes it's tough to time it out, Like, it's hard to kind of thread that needle.
All right,
they don't hate each other or anything, right? The team they're playing? The Islanders? They can't possibly.
Nobody cares, as you said, about the Islanders.
The Caps, maybe on Saturday. That would have been
Someone says, can you go live on Facebook or Twitter when you're there? I'll post photos and videos from all my social. I'm not going to go live from the arena, I don't think. Unless something goes down, then I'll go live. I think we'll be all right. All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
Someone says the Canadians do have 3 Americans on the roster. That's right. I'm just supporting them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We go to Arizona real quick for this one. So this is controversial, and I'm fascinated to see how it ends up playing out. In November, there was a Circle K store in Maricopa County, Arizona. Sold a winning $12.8 million lotto ticket.
Good payday for somebody.
Here's the problem. Whoever that winning ticket belongs to might never get the money. Here's what happened. On November 24th, customer comes into the store, asks for several tickets for the pick, which is a 6-number draw game. The clerk printed 85 tickets, because when you go to the counter, you say, they'll print the ticket before you technically have paid for it.
Sure.
So they print 85 tickets. The customer only pays for 60. So there's 25 remaining tickets. They were set aside so they could be sold to someone else.
For the next people coming in and say, hey, just give me 25 tickets.
The issue is one of the remaining 25 tickets ended up being the winner of the $12.8 million. So the next morning, the store manager realized, hey, our store sold a winning ticket.
Clocks out, bottom.
He found the ticket in that pile, clocks out, removes his uniform, then had another employee sell him the ticket for $10, got a receipt, signs the back of the tickets. The next day, someone from Circle K Corporate took possession of the ticket, and he hasn't seen it since. Now a judge is stepping in to see who is the rightful owner of the ticket.
Is he? I guess here's the question. If he's not the rightful owner, who is? Circle K? They don't own every lottery ticket that comes through. He purchased it legally, mind you. Purchased it. I understand he is very sketchy and under the guise, but this is a once. The ticket still has to be sold, right? Like, if you had popped in and gotten a quick pick and got the $12.8 million, it's still your ticket, even though the 25 were available. If this is their normal policy for tickets that are printed in extra, then anybody can purchase them. He's anybody. Did he have an advantage because he knew that the ticket won? Sure. But anybody, I guess, by that standard could have done something similar. Not anybody, but any of the other employees. I actually kind of feel like the guy should keep it.
It's tough because the guy bought it, but he bought it after he already knew it was the winning ticket.
Yeah, I get it. But then who owns it if it's not them? No one?
Nobody bought the ticket.
the ticket should have been voided.
At that point, do you try to negotiate? You know what? Instead of taking the whole thing, I'll take half.
It's fraud, though. I would argue it's fraud. If he would have gone the night before, later on that night, and done it before we knew it was a winning ticket, then by all means, yeah, let him buy the ticket. He knew what he was doing. What if he clocked out?
He had an advantage to win it that you and I didn't, right? In the sense that, but anybody could have come in to purchase the ticket. I'm saying it was an equal opportunity. He had an inside edge.
So it's fraud.
Do we know that he knew?
I'm not really bothered
he knew
by
what
it,
the numbers were.
What's that?
Yeah, it sounds like he knew the numbers were.
He knew. Well, he was notified that his store sold the winning ticket. So then there was a stack of tickets still there, and he's like, "Let me just look through them and happen to have."
Somebody says you can't buy a ticket after the numbers are released. Probably
the ticket was already purchased. It's weird. Yes,
the ticket was already printed. It wasn't purchased, but it was printed.
The system viewed it as it was a valid ticket, though.
Yeah.
And he didn't buy the ticket till after you knew it was a winning ticket. That's, to me, like, it's like it's cheating, it's fraud, it should just be voided.
I'm going to be honest. If they read it as purchased, but it wasn't purchased yet, that's on you.
I got to say.
That's on them for reading.
This is the one thing that says this guy was an idiot for purchasing himself. Alex,
that too.
I'd have set those tickets. I would have just whatever. Figure out whatever you got to do. But I'll tell you right now, it ain't going to be me buying the ticket. I'm going to find the person I trust the most on this planet to come in and purchase it. So I, the manager of the Circle K, doesn't get busted for it.
That is the trash of the day. Maybe we'll get back into that at the 1 o'clock hour. Text line has a lot of thoughts on how this should play out. Up next, though, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. A running back is off the board. What does that contract tell us about the Chiefs' hopes of signing a free agent back? We'll do that next year on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in for the Fan Club every Friday at 1, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC. Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Get front door bonuses like 5 Great Life golf rounds, Golf to Mules National, free balls, sim time with Barry's Golf and Groove and Birdie's Indoor Golf, and get an Advent Health Championship ticket, all while they last. Saturday the 28th is Women's Day, presented by Elevated Home Team and Keller Williams Realty Partners. Test drive Callaway, Mizuno, Cleveland, and more with Golf MD. See the new RMI carts. Play the Edwards Jones Straight Drive, Genesis of Kansas City Long Putt, and the Midwest Golf Innovation Simulator. Get lessons with Imperial Golf. Roll it with Extreme Green and Evolve putters. Relax in Yingling Flight's 19th hole. Savor samples from Tito's Vodka and Booth Creek Wagyu. All at the Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Thanks to WHB, Lake of the Ozarks Golf Trail, Visit Mississippi, Old Kinderhook, and Mulligan's Country Club. Kids under 12 are free. Tickets at KansasCityGolfShow.com.
When it was time to paint the inside of our home, we made one call, and that was the Certa Pro painters, and the experience was amazing. They took all the stress about the job away from me, and they'll do the same for you. And now's the time to get that painting project completed that you've been putting off. Each Certa Pro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose Certa Pro painters.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let's go.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold. You guys can always interact with us on the Jay's Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Video stream is up and running on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and X. Cody's keeping an eye on the chat there. I'm keeping an eye on the text line. We always enjoy the interaction with you guys. We might have a new mock draft to take a look at here in a couple minutes as well. But we did have one running back off the free agent board. And I don't know if he was a name that Chiefs fans have talked a ton about, but he's no longer available. Let's put it that way. Javonte Williams signing a 3-year deal over the weekend with the Dallas Cowboys, $16 million of which are guaranteed. It's 3 years for $24 million, and he had a very, very nice season for Dallas. They took a flyer on him. He came over from Denver. He was good his rookie year, then got hurt, and they took a flyer, and it worked out very well. And so they've got their running back of the future, the present, there in Dallas. Take him off the list. And we know reports out of New York are that Breece Hall could get not just maybe not the franchise tag, but the transition tag. So they would want to maybe move him. So you and I are on the same page. I don't want to give up draft capital. Then Kenneth Walker, not going to get tagged, but it sure seems like he's headed back to Seattle, unless we have a completely wrong read on that situation.
Haven't heard much, which maybe indicates.
That makes it feel like he's going back there. Well, if that's the case, those are 3 backs that may not even be available. So then you do get to the Algiers and the Rico Dowdles of the world.
And Etienne, who we've mentioned a couple of times
and Travis Etienne. But the contract that Javonte Williams got, I thought was interesting. 16 guaranteed, 3 for 24. For a player at his level, does that mean is Breece Hall going to get more than we think?
I think he might get 10 or 11, maybe even 11 and 12. I mean, he's got to get more than Williams.
10's like a lock.
I think we have now at least set what we know the price tag is for a free agent running back, which means let's discuss if that's the price we're willing to pay. Travis Etienne and a number of these other guys, $8 million, that's the number. That's the number for a lot of these guys. Etienne's never had a season as big as Javonte Williams had this year. He's also been significantly healthier and been a overall more productive back consistently, I would say, in his NFL career. I'm not surprised.
Are you worried on Etienne at all? Just that he's 27 already? Like, is the explosiveness, like, are we about to just see a decline?
Of course. I mean, of course I'm worried about it. But I know that they're only trying to squeeze 2 or 3 years out of it. And if I know that it's 3 for 24 and I can eject after a season and a half anyway, or 2 seasons, well, then the age bothers me a little bit less. If I were the Cowboys, I'd be worried I just overpaid Williams. And then I'm paying for last year Williams production. And he's 25 in his first, I don't know, it's not his first season because he's been healthy other years. But he fell out of favor in Denver. He has been healthy 3 years in a row, 4 seasons out of 5 in Denver. But they just stopped using him. So is he just a perfect fit for what they're doing? And now those numbers are going to continue? Or at 26 years old, is he going to fall off the map? I actually think the rate came in exactly where you wanted it to. It was never going to come in at $5 million per year. Okay, so a starting caliber NFL running back is between 8 and on the upper end, $10 to $11 million a year for a guy like Breece Hall. That seems like a reasonable price to pay. I told you Jeremiah Love's going to make $7.5 million this year, $8 million this year. My thing is that the crop is starting to thin out. For what was a very good free agent running back class, no Williams, I think no Walker, like starting to get a little bit narrower where you thought you might be able to play some of these contracts off each other.
Truth be told, they probably have to do a combination of both. They probably have to, if they're not going to get the top running back in free agency, they probably have to go with the upper mid,
the cheaps,
and then a mid-round draft pick.
Yep.
And not here's the I want them to sign it back enough where we feel good about if they had to go into week 1 that he's their guy, not to where you don't feel good at all and you're forced to pick a Jeremiah Love at 9 or something. And I know there's going to be probably some more love for. Oh man, I didn't even mean to do that. Seriously, more attention for Love. I really didn't even mean to say more love for Love, but this week because he'll be impressive at the combine. The question. This is a good point from the text line, and I guess this is why they get paid to get it right. If you're Brett Veach, someone made the joke, right? Hey, so glad they signed Elijah Mitchell over Javonte Williams.
They missed.
Of course, they missed. So the question is. Who's the Javonte Williams of who's the name that none of us are talking about further down the board, maybe has a little injury history, but you're like, man, I still think there's something there. I wouldn't even put J.K. Dobbins in that category anymore. That was where I was at a year ago.
Because Javonte Williams was like less than $2 million, the same as Elijah Mitchell.
So who is that?
Free.
So who is that this year? It's not, I like Algier, but I'm talking further down, a guy that's less, 25 or under, and maybe maybe he's under the radar a bit.
Sorry, I'm looking at the list, and the very first name who comes up is a former first-round pick, but I've hated the entire time he's been in the NFL and didn't think he was any good. Najee Harris.
Okay.
I have not liked a single. No. He's never shown any juice at all. So just not interested even in the slightest. So it's not him for me. It might be him for someone else. I think that answer might be? Rachaad White. And looking at the free agent running back list,
he's got local ties.
I think it might be not just because. Oh yeah, he went. I don't remember where he went. In fairness, that's not the reason.
He's from
why,
KC Mo. Yeah, he's from KC Mo.
Rachaad White. You know why? Because in his career, he tends to be a lot more like Javonte Williams. there was some time early in his career where the Bucs thought they had something there, right? They thought, ooh, this guy can play a little bit. He had 990 yards his second year there in Tampa. Then he's just kind of fallen out of favor. He plays 17 games, 17 games, 16 games, 17 games. Never been the starter, but he's been available all 4 years. He's 26 years old, and he's going to be available for nothing because he's been a 500-yard receiver. And then maybe in the right system with some juice.
So who's the updated list? So let's do
updated. He also had a 1,500-yard from scrimmage year, his second year in the NFL, including the passing stuff. I think White might be my answer.
Let's take, for the sake of the conversation, let's take Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and obviously Javonte Williams. Let's take those 3 names off the board. 2 of them are still technically available, but let's just take those names off the board. What's your updated? I know number 1 for you will be Etienne, obviously.
It has maintained that.
Who else is on that list? Because for me, Etienne's on the list. He's just not a number 1. For me, considering costs, everything, Algier. I think you make a good point about Rashad White. Then Travis Etienne. Like, those are guys that I think would fit. And I still might need to go spend a mid-round draft pick, though. But enough to where I don't feel like I have to reach for a running back in the top 10.
So I will admit, the part of the reason I'm giving an answer, or the answers that I have been giving, is I want them to find the back that gets the most carries, because I fear the temptation for Love at 9 if they don't get, like, the guy, right? And there's only a few of those left, including Travis Etienne and, I don't know, maybe Dowdle. It's a pretty short
Dowdle
list.
just scared me. He fell off much late in the year. Like I'm worried about that part of it.
That's why I said maybe. I'm not even feeling good about it. Gosh, who is my 2 after Etienne? It's probably Rashad White. Honestly, now that when you start looking at it, and then it's Algier, who I've thought is a very good back and very consistent, and is probably the perfect complement to a rookie running back you can give a lot of carries to. But if you accept Algier, I want you to know that Kareem Hunt's getting some carries for this team. Like, if you go to that level or lower, Kareem Hunt is going to get some carries for this team. And you're going to have to accept that as a part of the trade-off and hope that eventually they come around on whatever second or third round running back they take a shot on. Because other than that, you're probably just not getting anywhere. You're stuck in no man's land. All I'm doing now is, and again, there's a lot of good backs. Plenty fine, good to have around, have had some productive years in the NFL. It's rich, I would say, with that kind of back. But it just depends on, change of scenery or all these other things.
2 names that someone just texted in that I truly have no interest in, given age and if available, like Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Nah, I'm done. The time has passed. Joe Mixon did not play at all last year. Nick Chubb, it sucks that he had the serious injury. He could barely get any playing time down in Houston last year. I'm out on both of those players. Like 2 years ago, different answer. Not now. Not in 2026. I don't think that's a smart route unless you want to tell me Nick Chubb goes into training camp as fighting for the 3rd running back job, and it's Chubb, Smith, and you sign Breece Hall, or you found a way to get somebody a little bit higher on the market.
Brian Robinson Jr. getting mentioned a lot. Again, another safety net guy.
But not your number 1.
No, he would have to come with a draft guy. But he had 400 yards rushing last year in 17 games. That's not a lot. But almost 800 the year before and 730.
You're talking about.
And he's the Javonte Williams candidate other than the one missing element. He never had quite as big of a year as Javonte did his second year there in Denver. Because Javonte still had the 1 year on paper where you're like, ooh, wow. Rashad White had 1,400 scrimmage yards his second year in Tampa. Between rushing and receiving.
To rejuvenate their career.
He had 600 yards receiving and 900 yards rushing. Like, that's the Javonte Williams candidate, in my opinion, of the, like, maybe just put him in a different spot and things will just make sense. But I wouldn't be against Brian Robinson Jr. by any means.
A few people on the text line, 913-586-7965, saying, hey, did they already have that guy on the roster? Is that Dameon Pierce? They brought him in late last season, and he's the guy kind of like Tyquan Thornton, where you brought him in late in the year, but the year before, and he's in your system all off season, and then does he compete? Again, but my issue with Dameon Pierce is what's that mean for what's the rest of the plan look like? Because I still do think Brashard Smith can have a role for this team next year.
Last good year too.
But Brashard Smith, Dameon Pierce, and who? Like, you can't go into next year with Pierce and Smith as your 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Those are guys that can be part of the equation. But who's the one there? It's not Brashard Smith. It's not Dameon Pierce. I'm fine if you told me at training camp it's one of these free agents we mentioned, or a mid-round draft pick and a free agent, plus Brashard Smith and Dameon Pierce competing for the number 3 running back job. That could work. I'm just kind of out on the Kareem Hunt thing. Like, I'm kind of done. I know he was effective in short yards. I'm just ready to move on and reset the entire backfield.
Somebody wanted to point out Najee Harris stats because he does have good yardage totals.
Yeah,
1,200 yards his rookie year, 1,000 yards his second year, 1,000 yards his third year. He's been a 1,000-yard back every year in the league, except for with LA this year, in which he was only available for 3 games, and 1,000 yards in Pittsburgh. He also averaged 3.9, 3.8, 4, and 4.1 yards per carry, which is right at the fringe of acceptable. But Gold, I'm telling you, my biggest problem with him is we've been talking nothing but explosive players in the NFL draft.
He's not.
I felt like it looked like he was moving in quicksand most of the time. Maybe I'm just misreading or misdiagnosing him. I would not be thrilled if the free agent running back they settled on was Najee Harris. I've just not been blown away.
Well, let's see. That means we got a new mock. Let's see if a running back's involved. Where are we going?
We are going to go to NFL Network. It's not anybody that you think, though, and so I wanted to do that partially just for the fun of the conversation. Gennaro Felice, I believe is how you pronounce their last name. If not, sorry, Gennaro.
That's who did the mock draft?
Yes.
Okay, Gennaro.
Gennaro
We're
Felice.
probably butchering the heck out of this guy's name. Okay.
But he came out with a mock draft.
From
his mock draft 1.0.
Okay.
Of course, has Fernando Mendoza going 1, David Bailey at 2, Jeremiah Love to the Titans, so the Chiefs aren't tempted by him.
Good.
The Chiefs, he has taking Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. His write-up about it is, quote, the injury history is concerning, meaning the combine medicals will be the most important part of his business trip to Indy. But from a pure size and skills perspective, this feels like the most complete receiver and another deep class at the position, a refined route runner with alignment versatility. Tyson routinely dunks on defenders downfield, but he also possesses the yak ability to turn short passes into long gains. Mahomes certainly could use this kind of weapon.
I want to point out that Reuben Bain was still on the board. All the other wide receivers were still on the board that you would anticipate. Other than that, it's just like the
if you want them to
going to the Rams at 13.
Okay, so Tyson goes before Tate. Like, if you think they need an outside receiver, which I think we all agree, especially with the Rashee Rice potential issues, Jordan Tyson, of course, would of the wide receiver grouping. He's a true X. He's a true outside X wide receiver for this football team. Yeah, and that's where once again they get paid to get it right. They have to, and I will give the medical staff for the Chiefs credit on this. I understand Josh Simmons ended up getting hurt during the season, but I'm talking about trusting your medical staff during the draft evaluation. I'm not that the Chiefs, because Josh Simmons had an arm injury. That doesn't mean the Chiefs medical staff was wrong when they drafted him. I'm talking about how they evaluated his serious knee injury at the time.
Yep.
They were correct on that. They were absolutely correct on that, and other teams were not. Now, we still have never got the full answer on the absence and stuff. We'll see how that plays out. I tend to not think that's going to be a problem moving forward for him. But my point is with Tyson, if the Chiefs medical staff looks at the medicals for Jordan Tyson and they feel confident in it, I think if you're Brett Veach, you trust that and have so much confidence in that because they haven't failed you on that in terms of draft evaluation medicals. They have not failed you there. So that part to me sorts itself out. If the Chiefs draft Jordan Tyson, it's because they feel very good actually about his medicals.
It's really hard.
We'll see after this week if there's a feeling that, no, actually there's more of an issue here. And does one of these receivers, I get the sense, guys, one of them after this week is going to start falling way back in the mocks.
Is it weird? I can't decide if I think Brett Veach is good at evaluating wide receivers. Because he's got a couple of duds on the roster, right? I mean, Sky Moore, total whiff, right? And Jalen Royals played 4 snaps last year.
We don't even know. Yeah.
Fourth round pick, hard to tell.
Fourth round pick, though. I mean, fourth round pick, you expect some kind of production out of.
Yeah,
I'd expect him to be a star, but I expect him to get on the field and get 300 and 350 yards by year 2. You know,
that's where Juju not being back, I think he'll move into that role.
Sure. So we'll make a bigger determination on Jalen Royals this year. Rice, obviously, for where he took him, possesses good talent. And I would say for that, let's just say from the talent perspective, not the between the years part, I would say did very well, better than most in that. But then Worthy was a first-round pick, and he hasn't come anywhere close to living up to the expectations up to this point. So I'm really torn on his evaluation skills at wide receiver. And I think this year in particular, it is not a yes, it's this guy at 9. I think a lot of different teams would take Lemon. I think a lot of different teams would take Tyson. I think a lot of different teams would take Tate. So, it relies on me trusting Brett Veach to be right.
Right. Yeah.
He's been wrong a few times.
Without having the same, the Chiefs will have far more information than we do, but man, Jordan Tyson, knee injury in 2022, collarbone injury in 2024, hamstring in 2025. I mean, this is one of those guys you are definitely getting every red flag, that medical red flag that is there checked, and that, I have confidence that they'll get that part right, but if all of a sudden he falls way down the board, I think we'll know the answer. It'll be very evident on draft night if we're all sitting there in Pittsburgh and we're like, man, Jordan Tyson, wow, we're at pick 22 and he hasn't been drafted yet. It'll be because of medicals.
I got to say, absolutely.
If that's what happens.
I think if he were healthy, I think he'd be the best wide receiver in the class. I think he'd be the first wide receiver.
Okay.
I got to say,
I think he's better than Tate. I think he's better than Mekhi Lemon, because when he's on the field, I think he is absolutely, like we've talked about plenty of times with Mike, he is Mike Evans.
Here's the description.
The same type of player.
They mention, this is from NFL Draft Buzz, shows some dog when the game gets tight. 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns, 12 third-down conversions, wants the ball when it counts. Mentions that he's willing to stick his face in there, which matters more than people think, in terms of also being a pretty good run blocker, fifth best run blocker in snaps for a wide receiver. Nasty route runner who sells vertical before breaking underneath. Gets open, period. They mentioned the Kansas State game for Arizona State, for him with Arizona State. How many times he just basically corners just could not handle his shoulder fake and his ability at the top of his route. So that was from NFL
Mike
Draft
Evans,
Buzz.
T. Higgins, that caliber of player, like that.
That's a good player. I do look back. I was looking back at that Xavier Worthy draft. I was like, is there a wide receiver they should have been taking? What a weird year for wide receiver it is. Because the answer out on most of these guys is either they're not very good, they're not as good as they thought. So number 4 overall was Marvin Harrison Jr. He has been so far a very big disappointment based on where he was. Malik Neighbors was picking at 6. He was a star and then now has been hurt. So will he be the same? Then it was Brian Thomas Jr. at 23. Boy, if you'd gone based on his rookie year numbers, everyone should have taken him higher. But then last year not as good. Worthy at 28. Leggett at 32. Keon Coleman at 33. Ladd McConkey at 34. It was just a weird... and Ladd McConkey had a much worse second year. It's just
no
been
big time stars out of that group.
Well, it's a weird wide receiver class because there are guys who did look like stars. Like Malik Neighbors has looked like a star. Ladd McConkey has looked like a star. Brian Thomas Jr. has looked like a star. And all 3 of those guys had either a major injury or massively disappointing year 2s. So it's I still don't know where anybody in that class really is. Malik Neighbors would be the one I'd probably put pen to paper that is going to be the best out of that class. But it's just I don't know how they could have handled wide receiver different. A.D. Mitchell was taken to 52. It's just a weird year of people kind of coming up disappointingly, I guess, based on what they were expected to be. Not just Xavier Worthy, kind of all of them, except Neighbors and 1 year of McConkey and Thomas so far. Weird year. I don't know, man. I wouldn't I trust their evaluation skills better than mine just because I like Lemon better. I'm not going to fight Tate or Tyson. If they like that guy at 9 and they decide to go wide receiver weapon for Mahomes, knowing that there could be a potential suspension looming for Rashee Rice, am I really going to complain about that? No. I want more weapons for their, future Hall of Fame quarterback.
Coming up, let's get to what's trending here on Cody and Gold and also more on the Royals. They got a spring training game coming up right after our show at 2 o'clock. And is a pitcher the most important Royal this season? We'll get to that next here on Cody and Gold.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Missouri, get ready. Circus Sports is giving you the chance to win owner Derek Stevens' wallet. From February 3rd to March 15th, you can take home your share of $250,000 in cash. Simply wager $100 and earn 1 share, wager $1,000 to earn 2 shares, wager $5,000 for a 3rd share. Bet on anything from pro sports to college, straight bets to futures. Don't miss your chance to cash in and take home your share of Derek's wallet. Visit circusports.com for details. Must be 21 and older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
This is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford. Fresh off a record-breaking year and a successful run at Ford's 2025 Top Volume Award. Rob, how did you do it?
Kevin, it's simple. We pulled out all the stops on price, on trade values, on inventory, and made sure our customers got an experience they couldn't find anywhere else.
Well, the race isn't over. 2026 is here, and you're back in the chase again.
That's right, and we're going even harder this year. More inventory, more aggressive trade-in values, and a buying experience other dealers just can't match.
Well, you're not just talking, you've got the receipts. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by KC Magazine.
The recognition matters, but what actually matters is how you feel when you call or visit Rob Seid Ford.
Inventory, value, transparency, and no pressure. That's why people keep coming back.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit us online at robsight.com.
Rob Seid Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13 and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance, strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Hey, Royals fans, it's Vern, and the Hot Stove Show is back Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, of course, the U.S. men's hockey team gets its first gold medal since the miracle on ice back in 1980. Jack Hughes, the legendary name that we'll remember out of this one. We'll talk more about it in the 1 o'clock hour, but unbelievable yesterday to defeat Canada in extra time there, and overtime, I guess it would be 3-on-3 hockey. And I know some people were disappointed that's what decided it ultimately.
The rest of the way, you know?
But I thought it was unbelievably intense throughout the entire game. The United States had final medal count, finished second with 33 overall medals. The Olympics closed yesterday in Milan. Norway ended up with 41 medals overall. The host country, Italy, ended up with 30 and in fourth in the medal count. The next Olympics, summer, LA, 2028.
Yeah, you could watch an Olympic soccer match in St. Louis. I think they got the secondary prize for not getting World Cup. Some of the soccer matches will be played.
I knew the softball's in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, the soccer's being played over the whole country.
Yeah.
So St. Louis, I think, got one of the different Olympic soccer matches. But at least on that end, this is the most ever gold medals won by the U.S. in a Winter Olympics.
Somebody is saying I should buy a replica gold medal to wear along with the USA Hockey hoodie in Montreal.
Made of chocolate, take a bite of it. You didn't end up on TV.
If I'm wearing a replica gold medal, that would be...
That's rubbing it in.
That's even worse.
There was also some history. I don't know if you guys saw this. Johannes Kleibo of Norway, 6 gold medals in the Winter Olympics, which is the most ever
Michael
in one
Phelps
Winter Olympic
level
Games.
Performance. It was nuts.
I think he's second all time in medals across any Olympics now with golds. He's in double digits now.
Yeah, he's great. Next up on What's Trending, Kansas versus Houston tonight on Big Monday. That to tip off at 8 o'clock. Now, obviously, it's Big Monday, so it'll probably be more like 8:15. That was after all 3 locals lost this weekend. K-State got their ass kicked. Missouri in a close one against Arkansas. And then, of course, Kansas got boat raced in the second half at home to Cincinnati. So they have a big game against Houston tonight for the Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse.
NFL news today as we get closer to the league year. Kyle Pitts is now expected to be franchise tagged by the Falcons. Of course, the talented tight end for Atlanta. This according to Jeremy Fowler. Also, Daniel Jones and the Colts are talking about a multi-year extension. They've begun discussions according to Tom Pelissero. Remember, he signed a 1-year deal worth $14 million, had a great start to the year, then had the serious injury. He's going to be their starting quarterback next year.
I don't think Chris Ballard gets a choice of choosing another one, so might as well just give him an extension to this one and hope that they can recreate some of that magic from last year. I would not predict them to be a playoff team next year with Daniel Jones. Next up on What's Trending, something to keep an eye on as it relates to the World Cup. 4 what they are calling high-level matches have been canceled in Guadalajara after a cartel boss murder. We might talk about this later in this segment. Kind of a wild story, obviously, taking place there. There are 4 World Cup matches scheduled to take place in Guadalajara coming up in just a few months. So they're canceling these in an effort for stability, obviously, going forward. We'll see what kind of impact that might have. It's a non-zero chance they might have to move those matches out of there. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but something to monitor on the World Cup side.
Yeah, U.S. citizens that are maybe there have been urged to shelter in place after the cartel leaders killing has sparked all this violence across Mexico. Yeah, it's a complete mess. We'll talk about it from a sports angle coming up in just a little bit. Elsewhere on What's Trending, Drew will like this one. Michael Jordan's NASCAR team continues to win. The fact the first 2 races of the season, they go back-to-back. 2 of his drivers are first and second in points.
This is after he sued NASCAR, right, for having a monopoly?
Yeah, there in RCR, there was a couple of teams.
So he broke up the monopoly, and now his guys are on top?
Yeah, they won the lawsuit, and they've gone back-to-back.
And he's been doing interviews left and right. He's willing to talk NASCAR. He got paid all that money from NBC to do one interview that they spread across 3 months, and he's been on Fox more than he's been on NBC.
I think he loves NASCAR more
clearly.
than he does the NBA.
Right now he does, I guess.
Yeah,
Obviously, being an
race.
owner of a team helps. He's been going to races for a long time.
Yeah, he loves it. Next up on What's Trending, the NWSL, the Final Third, an ESPN original series, will premiere on February 25th. It follows 3 clubs from this previous season on their quest for a championship. One of the 3 teams, the KC Current. So in 2 days, unfortunately, their season ended in not embarrassing, but obviously incredibly disappointing fashion, as they were the best team in the NWSL pretty much the entire year and ended unceremoniously early for the KC Current. But if you want to get a look behind the scenes of a local team, the KC Current will be a part of that series starting on February 25th, just 2 days from now.
And one last thing, we know the Combine gets going today out in Indianapolis, the early going stuff, and we'll be keeping an eye on it throughout the week. If you're wondering what schools have the most invites there, I should say, Texas A&M, 13 players at the Combine, Alabama with 12, Ohio State tied with 11 with LSU, Georgia, the usual suspects, right? Oklahoma, Miami has 9, Clemson has 9. You notice I haven't mentioned Big 12 school when it comes to that. That is still the same problem for the Big 12 when it comes to football. Still the pro pipeline there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all mainly SEC, but Indiana's sending 9, Iowa's sending 9.
Yeah, you've got to get better talent. More talent that NFL teams want to see, I guess. If you're going to, but the problem is they're never going to close the gap on the Big Ten and the SEC.
No.
Because now it's not even like one monster you're chasing. The Big Ten has won back-to-back national titles and has consistently been the better back-to-back. Sorry,
that's why the SEC's been striking out.
Yeah, and has consistently been the better football conference over the last few years. You're chasing both. Like, you can't close that gap. Your thing, and I'll continue to say this: Big 12's job is to be the third best. Just secure your footing. Just make sure when people think of football, they think of you third. I know that sounds like kind of a loser's mentality.
Can you beat the ACC? Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Miami had a hell of a year.
They're already surprised. They at least survived the Pac-12. The question is, if Clemson were to ever leave, or some of these other schools that want to leave the ACC, can you make sure that you stay alive?
Don't forget, on Mondays, our friends over at 30 Hop, our Monday lunch partner on Cody and Gold, they've got $5.99 classic burgers at both their locations. So whether you're out in Lee Summit or just down the street from us in Merriam Grand Station, 30 Hop is the place to go, especially tomorrow, and the weather's going to be really nice as well. So today, go in there for the $5.99 classic burgers, but take advantage of their happy hour and their expansive patios that they have at both locations. That's my favorite part there is the patio that they got over at 30 Hop.
It's supposed to be super nice the rest of the week after a little bit of chill today. We get an opportunity to be outside a whole lot more.
How dare February be February today? It was awful.
I was trying same thing. The basketball thing. He was trying to make me play basketball outside yesterday. I said, I'm not doing this.
No.
He's like, you can just put on a jacket. I said, yeah, I could put on a jacket, but I'm not determined to be the best basketball player in this house today. He is. So it's like, I'm not taking, outside today, I'll take you tomorrow.
Well, I'm guessing it'll be pretty nice out in Surprise, Arizona. Royals baseball spring training game number 4. That'll be at 2 o'clock, 2:05 right here on your home for the Royals, 96.5 The Fan. And we'll be keeping an eye on Cole Reagans throughout spring. Remember, he declined an opportunity to be in the World Baseball Classic, which I appreciate because it allows him to get healthy and be focused for starting the season. You said earlier you think Cole Reagans is the most important Royals player in 2026.
For their overall team success, I think so. I understand Bobby Wood Jr. is their best player. This isn't like if you took them off the team, who would cost more wins. That's Bobby. Figured it out. It's a mystery. No, it's who has the biggest impact on the team this year, depending on their performance, and I think it's Cole Reagans. I understand the arguments for him. We can talk about Carter Jensen, Jack Caglione, hell, Seth Lugo, some of the bullpen guys. We can get through some other names. Cole Reagans has a chance to make this the best rotation in the American League. And if you have the best rotation in the American League, I almost don't feel like the offense can fail you. Like, I don't think obviously don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year for a huge chunk of the season, because I just think they're more talented. And you can literally only go up with a couple of players and a couple of positions from last season. Cole Reagans' health is really important to this team. And I understand the idea of not feeling that way because they covered it so well last year between Cameron and Burgert and all these other guys. They managed to cobble this together, make it work, and maintain a good pitching staff. But what could they have been if their ace, their number one starter, was here the whole time? It's kind of like Bieber for the Guardians. Sure, you can survive it, but what could you have been with it? And that's why I feel like Cole Reagans is the most important. And he's a player that I just have a big unknown about. Can he stay healthy? Can he pitch 30 starts? Can he continue to pitch at a very high level? He's still kind of an unknown player in those regards.
Reagans, I get it. I get the answer. Most important, you look at the pitching staff, there's actually questions around just about everybody in the staff, even if we think it's going to be a very good rotation. The question for Reagans is health. You mentioned Lugo, Noah Cameron, talking about regression, whether or not that happens or not. And if Cole Reagans gives you 20-plus outings and starts, you're feeling pretty good about what you're going to get. So I hear you. I think he is very high on the list. I still think, and maybe I'm just viewing the question of who's the most important Royal a little bit differently. I'm viewing it as kind of more the swing type of player.
And I guess they need the most to have the upswing.
And I guess Cole Reagans is a big swing player for the team. If he does what you're saying maybe happens, that's a huge swing for where this rotation ends up versus if he's not in that rotation. So it probably fits the criteria. For me, it's still Jack Caglione. And I understand that we're talking about a guy that's me batting 7th or 8th in the order. And so you might say, how could he be the most important? I think it's because we all know what they didn't get out of the outfield last year. And we all know the power potential for Caglione. If, in fact, he's able to lay off on pitches that everybody started to throw him and realize he was unable to lay off of last year. And I know even Ryan Levere was talking about during the first spring training game on Friday, and giving examples like that, the pitch in particular that he really was struggling with. And if he's able to do that, then he's going to have a much better year. So I'll still say the player that is most important for them is still Jack Caglione. And I know they don't want to put that pressure on him, but man, he just changes everything. If he is remotely close to what they think he is when they drafted him, which was still only a little over a year ago, or I guess it's 2 years coming on, a year and a half ago, then the power numbers out of the outfield, they have not had that from an outfielder in a very, very long time.
It's crazy. Last year, they spent a huge chunk of the year talking about how they didn't want to call up Jack Caglione at a time in which the offense was struggling to try to force him into being the savior of the offense. And what happened, Gold? They were in a rut. They had no choice. They couldn't get hitting from anywhere, and they called up Jack Caglione, not with the intent of being the savior, but that's what ended up happening. Let's just be honest. They called him up and they were just praying that he would become the savior of it and it would all come together and he would figure it out and they would make it work and everything else. And it didn't. And I'm not saying he's not an important player. He clearly is. Because 816 corner outfield would be my answer. For that. Somebody else mentioned Jack as well. And I could bring up an argument for, maybe we can, later in the week, talk some Michael Garcia. But it is.
I just feel like for Garcia, for Bobby, for Vinny,
there's a certain amount of production.
I feel like I can lock in Bobby Wood Jr. Yes, we all know if Bobby Wood Jr. missed half the season, it would be devastating for this team. I'm just saying that, who's the most important Royal? It kind of goes without saying. Bobby Wood Jr., of course, he's their best player. He's the only guy that can win an MVP on the roster. These are all true. So I don't even consider him in this conversation. I feel like we know what we're getting from Vinny. I think we know what we're getting from Michael. Maybe the numbers dip a slight bit, but I don't think we're going to see a massive bit of regression from him, But that's why I don't even entertain those names. I think it's got to be somebody in the rotation or it's one of the outfielders, to me, is probably where your answer is.
From the 816, Jonathan India, the most important.
I can hear you there.
On-base guy, supposed to get on base, hasn't panned out to this point. The other guy I'll just toss in randomly because we're hoping to maybe have him on later in the weekend. Mm-hmm. It's a position they didn't get a lot of offense out of, and they're banking on the rebound year. Lane Thomas?
Yeah, we could talk to him tomorrow.
Couldn't he, for the lack of production they got in the entire outfield, which again was the worst in Royals history, pretty much, offensively. Couldn't he just make up the difference offensively that we're talking about with Jack Caglione? If he returned to 2 years ago, Lane Thomas, which is, I don't know, as likely as Jack Caglione having a huge step-up here, because Lane Thomas has at least done it, even if he's older. Couldn't that be a part of it? Jack's year is the most fascinating. If you made me make the list of the most interesting player this year, it's Jack. Because, if he returns to the type of, and we mentioned this, if he'd played the entire year in AAA, he'd be the number one prospect in baseball. And look, the number one prospect in baseball doesn't always work out. Who was the Holiday, right? Out of
for the Orioles?
For the Orioles. He was the number one prospect.
Been okay.
Fine, but he was the number one prospect in baseball before he got called up. It did not go great, right? Admittedly, when he first came up, and his stats weren't good.
Yeah, he ended up hitting 242 with 17 homers last year.
Yeah, he was better. But by the way, when you lock that in, Let me ask you this:
He's also a second baseman and shortstop. Kaggs is an outfielder. You're just a right fielder. You're expecting.
Okay, so 21 years old. He's young, just like Jack.
Yeah.
Would you take these numbers for Jack Caglione in year 2? 242 on base. 242 average. 242 on base. You hate.
Yeah.
242 batting average. 314 on base. 690 OPS, which feels low. 56 walks, 17 homers, 55 RBI. I would not take that. I'm still banking on more upside.
It'd be a step in the right direction, but I don't think any Royals fans taking that. That's the high bar that everybody still has for Caglione.
And I think more than fair. Like, again, he should have been a massive candidate that way.
If you put the homer
and Holiday's not supposed
to
be nearly. He's not a power guy. But
if you put the homers up to 28, then I would take it.
Everything else, yeah, because then the slugging and the OPS would be way higher if he had 28 homers.
Even if it was 25, like if you just popped it up to 25.
I'm sorry,
homers,
with the fences
it's more
in,
the expectation.
With the fences in and his power in an entire season, he should be able to hit 30 homers. I'm like, he has. I'm not even talking about on base or batting average. He should be able to, at the very least, Joey Gallo this thing, and accidentally
pop out homers.
Pop out homers.
Pop out
30
homers,
times.
yeah.
It's not like that is the smallest ask, I think, out of anything he did. Last year, he hit 7 homers in 62 games. So if you triple that, that's 21. That's more than 162. I understand that. But just saying, like, he'll hit at a higher rate. Like, I don't think it's crazy to say you should hit 30 this year. Someone says you need 90 RBI from Jack. Easy. He's going to be hitting like 8th.
90? Look, if he's getting 90 RBI from batting 7th and 8th,
definitely that might win the division.
They're winning the division. Yeah, I mean, if he's a 90 RBI guy batting 7th, I mean, that means everybody's getting on base. That means his offense is rolling because guys are getting on base in front of him on a consistent clip. That would be a hell of a season for the entire team if, in fact, he was there. And he told me he was still batting toward the bottom of the order.
Yeah, I mean, please. I don't think they need. See, that's the thing. You say he's a swing player. Let's talk about what they need from each, and then we can talk about the Mexican cartel story.
Okay.
Really shift gears here. All right, I think Cole Reagan's the most important player. I think they need 30 starts out of him, a sub 3.3 ERA, and 190 strikeouts. I think they need that from Cole Reagan's this year to be the kind of team I think they can be. What do you think they need out of Jack? It doesn't mean your guy's season has to be as big. But in order for this to all work, what do they need out of Jack Caglione this year?
I would agree that I think the home run numbers need to be 25 plus.
Yeah.
And I know that's like a huge ask because he's coming from, what did you say, 7 last year?
7.
So I get it. Now,
although he probably hit 40 between all the different stops.
Well, sure, we know what he could do in the minors. That's not the problem. But he's playing in a big league, big league opponents and big league roster or big league ballpark. Sorry. So I'm trying as far as like batting average. I mean, if you told me he was anywhere near 250 and he had 25 plus homers, that's a great sign of 2026 for him.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
For
you got an RBI number, on base number. RBI, what, 50, 60?
I mean, if you said 25 homers, batting 7th and 8th, yeah, I think 60
homers,
to 65 homer or 65 RBI would be a hell of a season. Also, if he's hitting like that, so would I. If he's hitting like what I just described, that probably also means, Cody, he ended up being in the everyday right fielder. I know we had Vern on last week and we were asking him what the percentage was, and he had a much higher percentage of how many games we could see Kaggs play right field. I think a lot would have to go wrong for him not to be playing 85% of the games, in right field.
I think he should. And Vern went even a step further. I said he could have once a week off against Tarek Skubal from the left side or whatever. Like, if he's up against the toughest lefty in the league, I might let him take a day. But Vern's like, he's too valuable. He's too important of a player. And you kind of have to start him even in those instances. So he could make it work outside of that. And so, I don't know, man. It's a really fascinating year across the board. I had mentioned in What's Trending, the cartel out of Mexico. I bring this up because there is a real sports end here. There are 4 games scheduled. And how many days until the World Cup? Like 60? I don't know. It's not that long.
More than that.
90? I don't know. Whatever it is. In 90 to 120 days, the World Cup will be here in the United States and in Canada and Mexico.
108 days.
Okay, 108 days. There'll be World Cup. They have a current, coup? I don't know if they're calling it that, but a cartel boss leader being executed in Mexico. They're canceling soccer matches now. Are they going to be able to host 4 World Cup games in 108 days there? I mean, Guadalajara make people feel safe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't claim to have the knowledge of exactly what's going on there fully, but I would say that's 100 days from now. So we'll see. I don't know how long this, response will last. As you said, a top Mexican drug cartel leader was killed, and the U.S. was in support of the operation with Mexico and their army. So now you have this cartel responding, burning vehicles, killing individuals, and they got roadblocks. It's why the U.S. has issued a travel warning and obviously telling those that are maybe in Puerto Vallarta and other resort areas to shelter in place. It's obviously a very serious situation going on there with, what is it, El Mincho or whatever was killed. I have no idea. 2 months from now, does everything calm down? I have no idea what happens when a cartel leader is killed and how long violence lasts. I have no clue.
I am expecting you to have
I have no idea,
deep
Cody.
international knowledge.
To answer your question, could it impact the World Cup? Sure. I think we're still if the World Cup matches were 30 days from now, it's a different conversation. 100 days away, I would like to think. I guess maybe I'm viewing it optimistically. I would like to think things calm down in the next month or so.
FIFA's a terrible organization, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not. But in their defense, they have a long-term study done that suggests they are good at the extra policing, paying for it. Like, as in, it tends to be a lot safer in the areas in which FIFA games are playing than even normal. Way more than normal, actually, statistically, to play during those games. I just wonder if you're, and look, I get it. Like, if you're the person who chose Guadalajara when you were choosing the cities, you're probably regretting it today a little bit based on this stuff. But I don't think it's out of the question those games get moved out. And
it's
then where they all
it's
get
not a
pieced out,
0% chance. It just we got so much time until we get there. So I don't know.
Someone says UFC has an event here there this weekend.
Is that right?
I don't know. UFC event city. I mean, they're moving high level matches, friendlies between big level clubs down there. I don't know.
Yeah, Mexico and Ireland. I think we're supposed to play a soccer friendly.
Yeah, Mexico City is where there's supposed to be a UFC match. This Saturday.
But is the violence again? I'm not a geography expert. Is Mexico City's not where this stuff is going on right now?
It's not exactly Guadalajara either. It's outside of that, but
I'm just saying, like the UFC fight, Mexico City. Mexico's not a small country. Like I don't think the entire country is there's still isolated areas where this is going on.
Yeah, but they're having issues all throughout. Yeah, I get it, but they're having issues.
I think they said this cartel operates in it's like 30 of I don't know if it's like 75% of the states in Mexico that the cartel operates in. So I don't know.
75? Is it? What'd you say? 70?
It's a large percentage of the however many states are in Mexico.
Jeez. 75.
There are 31 states, so it's whatever that would be. It's not all. It's like 20 something of the 31.
Scary. I've seen a couple of like media members who were down in like Puerto Vallarta and stuff and having to like get home. And
Puerto Vallarta's massive resort. I mean, people go there for spring break and everything too. Alter your travel plans right now.
Like, it's scary. It's definitely scary, but worth keeping an eye out on, I guess, from at least the that perspective. I don't want you getting in trouble. I want everyone to get home safe.
I think
you're heading out of the country.
Yeah, I'm not going to Guadalajara. I'm not going to Guadalajara. I'm not going to Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to Canada. I feel like it's a little safer. Going to Montreal.
Then when you're in that USA jersey?
I think I'll be all right, Cody. I think I'll be all right.
We'll see. Once you're in that
brush
jersey.
up on some French.
Do you know any?
No, just no. Bonjour. That's all I got for you. Merci. That's all I got for you.
You even said that one kind of not very French.
I'm not going to try to fake a. I'm not going to fake a. Yeah, I'm not going to fake a French accent. I don't have one. It's in Montreal. You can speak English in Montreal. I'd be just fine. Like it helps if you know some, but it's not like you're not going like you're fine speaking English in Montreal. I'll be just fine.
You think so? You'd be okay?
Yeah. I did some research on stuff for the last couple months. I got a list of places I want to go other than the hockey game.
Text line's mentioning, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're going to Canada, and no shortage, Drew, of 5-6 people already on the text line keep telling Alex to go to a strip club in Canada and that they're notoriously good, as they're putting it.
Is there a certain one that they're suggesting? Is there like a magic city?
Yeah, multiple people have said that.
They're just saying it's like well-known, worldwide regarded. As a good city for strip clubs. I have no idea.
Maybe that's why Drake was shouting out a bunch of names and stuff like that in his album with Party Next Door.
Was he mentioning Canadian ones?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, but he was mentioning a boatload of names.
Is it James Harden the only person whose recommendation we should trust on this? Was it him that had his jersey in the rafters or whatever?
James Harden is an expert on strip
City.
clubs. Yeah.
Him and Lou Williams.
The jersey in the rafters. Of the strip
That's
club.
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. No, I have no plans. I have no plans
That's probably why he
to
wanted
go.
out. That might be an underlying reason why he wanted out of LA. They weren't good enough. Of course, he's going to Cleveland, but I don't know. I don't know. It might be different up there. I don't know.
Can't speak to the quality of Cleveland strip clubs. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Top deck. People talking about maple syrup now. Up next, let's get to some college basketball. Kansas was embarrassed at Allen Fieldhouse on Saturday, and now they got a top 10 Houston team coming to town. And there's, of course, more drama around Darren Peterson, including an interview he did with ESPN. That's next.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of FanDuel. All you have to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA futures let you lock in your pick for who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or a conference title, a tight race in the East or a race in the Western Conference. Maybe you want to look at some of the futures now post-trade deadline. Did Cleveland sell you with the James Harden trade that you should be making a bet on them to win the Eastern Conference? Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit one entry for Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623. 800-499-6623.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
When the cold weather takes over KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we're always happy to help. Right now, we're offering 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Trusted by generations of KC homeowners, AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Call 913-732-9993 or visit abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya, guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up.
I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid
Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offers end March 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
This afternoon, expect sunny conditions with a high of 35.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us on a Monday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 to 10 minutes. You guys can watch the show on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and X. And, of course, always text in on the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. We talk a little college basketball as Kansas, for starters, they got a game tonight against Houston, top 10 Houston. We'll talk about Darren Peterson and his availability in a second. But they got embarrassed on Saturday, flat out embarrassed at Allen Fieldhouse. It was a 4-point game with about 7.5 to go, and you were waiting for the run to happen. It never did. Since he would go on an 11-0 run at that point, Kansas got out-rebounded. Little bit, I think from the very beginning, you could tell there wasn't much energy, but you still thought they would figure that out. And they just didn't. And they got by Cincinnati, who had a nice day at the office. And you thought they were past those type of games after the way they were playing basketball and winning against teams like Arizona and how they were performing. And they, the energy level at Allen Fieldhouse is usually not something you're concerned about. That performance, if I would have told you that was on the road, you would have been surprised, but we saw that. Like, we saw that at West Virginia. But that was in early January. It's about to be March.
I feel like they kind of stabilized and figured themselves out. I didn't think much about them losing to Iowa State. How we talked about on the show, like, they got their ass kicked. It happens. It's Iowa State. I'm not going to, freak out over a difficult place to play in a difficult conference. But getting embarrassed on your home court, a court that they do not lose very often on in general, but in that fashion to Cincinnati? Cincinnati's not a laughingstock. They're not one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the conference, but they're not good either.
They're a 15-win team, I think, right now.
Yeah. So, they might be a tournament team. Hell, that win might put them in the tournament. Because if they can get to 20 wins and have a win at Allen Fieldhouse, no one's going to have a better...
West Virginia, who KU also lost to. They have the same record, conference-wise.
Yeah, but West Virginia's at least was at home. I'm just saying, from Cincinnati's perspective, getting to say I got to win at Allen Fieldhouse is not an easy feat. Hell, they had Dick Vitale talking divorce.
Yeah, I disagree with that
text line. He said, quote, sometimes a divorce is good for everyone involved, and I firmly believe that needs to happen now, in all caps.
There was more of that
The Darren Peterson soap opera needs to end. It has to be a nightmare for all involved, is what he put.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
He's talking divorce?
Yeah, so look, we've talked a ton about Darren Peterson for months, and we're going to continue talking about it through the tournament, and it's going to be fascinating to watch. And ultimately, I still think what happens in March will be the most important thing here. And I'm not defending his absence. I'm just saying the suggestion that Kansas should just wipe their hands clean of Darren Peterson, I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more.
Does that mean they're going to go further in the tournament with Adam? I don't think so.
Does that mean that I am not frustrated by it?
Should be frustrated.
Does that mean that I don't think it's ridiculous, especially what happened at the Oklahoma State game? I feel the same way on those. I also think it is ridiculous, though, to suggest, even from Dick Vitale, who is an unbelievable ambassador for the game of college basketball, to suggest that Kansas should just wipe their hands clean and move on from him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like that is an extreme take in this scenario. Now, he's not alone in that thought. I'm sure there are even KU fans.
68.
Yeah.
And they're live after the game.
Yeah, I just disagree with that. This notion that they should be like, all right, well, Darren, we're just done with you.
It's been nice knowing you. Head on to the NBA.
No, because
no.
I still think if you think they're going to actually go on a run in March, I still think he has to be on the floor. I just do.
Are they playing so here's what I can't figure out. This game and the game against Iowa State have had very similar models in the sense that Darren Peterson's putting up plenty of shots. He was 1 of 7 from 3 in this game against Cincinnati. Didn't shoot well. Okay, that happens. He has stopped even attempting to distribute the basketball. Like, at what point do they need to figure out a way to, operate an offense that isn't just Darren Peterson gets his shot or everyone else passes, but not including Darren Peterson? He has, I think, as Drew pointed out, 1 assist in his last 3 games combined. So he had 0 in the previous 2 and 1 in this previous one.
He had 1 in the other games previous as well. He hasn't had a multi-assist game outside of 1 in a while.
And this is where I kind of disagree with Drew, but also agree if it makes it. This is going to make sense here in a second.
Okay.
He says that they don't know how to play without Darren. They don't know how to play with Darren Peterson on the court. I felt that way for a long time in this Kansas basketball season. But then I watched them for a 5 or 6 game stretch know how to play with Darren Peterson on the court. I saw it work. I saw the poetry in motion, right? I saw the way that they used him in sets, out of sets. It all made sense. And they had an ability to play when he was there, when he wasn't there, when he was off the court, when he was on the court. It all worked. And then they just forgot. So they just don't know how to play with him, or they don't know how to play with him when he's not playing well. That might be what the actual thing is happening.
I think it's some of that, but even this is going back. We're going back a month and a half ago, where Melvin counts with it's like they take turns, they can't cohesively.
They both shot
exist
terrible
together. Yeah, they both did not play well, and even Darren didn't play well against Iowa State either. He didn't shoot well at all either in that game either. So I think that there is, from a cohesive thing, this is something we talked about all the way at the beginning of the season. Is how are they going to look come March when Darren is in and out of the lineup at times or having to leave early and not? And for the most part, it seemed to actually have worked out well, to your point, Cody, but it feels like there is, if Darren's not playing well, but he's on the floor, it almost feels like there's he's Darren Peterson and he's the first overall pick, so we need to let him get his because this is what he does well. But if he's not playing, because again, going back to the distributing thing, that's not really who Darren Peterson is necessarily either. So I think there's, it's hard to say, hey, man, you need to distribute the ball more when that's not his style of play. And not that they want to live or die by him either, because if he's on the floor, you need him taking shots because that's what he does well. I think that's where it's a little bit of a mixed bag, and why I feel like they're not necessarily playing that well, or they don't know how to play together, because one of the reps, and two, if he's not playing well, not distributing the ball as much, defensively he's fine. It doesn't feel like they're not the same team on a consistent enough basis.
Yeah, if we're talking about how it relates to this Kansas team this year, it's concerning. If we're talking about NBA-wise, I'm not worried that he's not distributing the basketball, because in the NBA, that's not going to be an issue.
Asked to do that.
Exactly.
Even now.
Spacing is different in the NBA, too.
We discussed how he just doesn't really talk to the media either, although Myron Metcalf of ESPN went to Lawrence last week, and I thought there were a couple interesting quotes. Now, you can not agree with them, but I'm just telling you, for the first time, we've kind of heard from Darren Peterson on what's been happening. Darren Peterson, I think that the $1 million question that everybody has heading into March is going to be: is this going to just be what he does in March? They're going to have a first round game or a second round game, and he's going to play 18 minutes, and that's it, or is he going to suddenly play through whatever he's got going on, or if you believe it's not an injury, whatever your take is on it, will it continue? Myron Metcalf asked, if he'll be available in March when the games matter most. Let's do it, Peterson said when asked for the message he would give to Kansas fans who might worry about whether he'll play in the NCAA tournament. That's the goal. Well, I'm sure that was the goal, I'm sure, before the start of the season.
Just say yes. What's the worst thing that comes out of that? You don't because you're hurt?
Because he, in the same article was asked about, what occurred between Arizona and Oklahoma State. And he said, everybody's got an opinion on it, but basketball is my life. If I could have been out there every game this year, I would have. If you would have asked me last year what were my goals for this year, I would never mention missing games. So all this stuff kind of just happened, but I've got to deal with it.
Can I say that, and you and I have, you have a very narrow definition of trap game. I have a slightly wider.
Yeah.
If you were going to categorize something as a trap game, this would have been a pretty good one, right?
You mean the one against Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Sure, but that's if we're that's separate from the DP conversation.
No, I know. I'm just asking,
yeah.
Could this game just be because the Darren Peterson conversation had been going better because he had been more available up until he wasn't available for another game? But
yeah, the trap game thing isn't even really part of the Darren Peterson conversation. If you just want to talk about tonight, then sure. Would it stun me at all if Kansas wins tonight? Of course not. It's Allen Fieldhouse's big Monday. They haven't lost. It would not surprise any of us if they won tonight. They're underdogs, though. They're not expected to win based off of where the line is at. But with Darren Peterson, this is a game, though, where he's coming off a performance that wasn't good, but he played a lot. The trends would tell us tonight he's not going to play very much. But it's Big Monday, and it's against Houston. Is he gonna surprise everybody?
He's gonna score 30, and they're gonna win.
And play through this game, and then tomorrow we're talking about it again, and the point will be that's why you deal with the headaches.
If he scores 30 against this Houston team, that would be
Houston's awesome.
Extremely impressive.
Defensively, they are incredible.
I will say so. If you go back and you look at the game log for the last, so he's played 32 plus or more minutes in three of the last 5 games. One of which Oklahoma State, again, that one didn't matter. He played throughout the Iowa State game. He didn't have any sort of issue. Wasn't as good, obviously, as we know. They're 3-2 in those games, and I think that goes to the point of collectively, he can score 20 points, and they still lose these games. So that's why I think that if Darren Peterson plays 30 minutes and he scores 20, it's not a guarantee that they win any of these, that they win these games. I think that's part of the conversation that we also have to have. When
I think later in the tournament, I'd be shocked in
this team.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I'd be shocked in the first round if you told me Darren Peterson had 30 points against,
Tennessee State.
I would be shocked. Now, in the second round, in the Sweet 16, just because he has 25 or whatever, for sure, doesn't mean, absolutely with you there. In the first round, I don't think it'll matter as much. But yes, if you think they're going on a deep run, it's not even just Darren Peterson being available, but is he in these final, what do they have, 4 regular season games left or something like that? 3, and then they got the Big 12 tournament. Is he on the court enough in those games to try to continue to build up some chemistry with his teammates? And so everybody is aggressive still when he's on the floor.
There's a lot on the line tonight because Kansas is trying to stay in the 3 seed line and Houston is trying to stay in the 1 seed. And so they're both, and then, good Kansas. They get Arizona on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's not like there's any kind, and this time in Arizona, so you would think it certainly favors them. So no real respite between the two. What's crazy is I feel like Kansas probably ends up winning tonight. It's so stupid. This team is very good. And it kind of washes away your memory of the Cincinnati game when they take down yet another top 3 opponent in college basketball on their own court.
It's going to have to take one of those games from Tiller, and Fleury's going to have to get Tugler in foul trouble.
That was, against Cincinnati, the
but they're deep in the starting 5, I guess.
Against Cincy,
Houston,
against Cincy, the bigs were the issue. Taylor and those guys didn't play well, and they
Flory was very good.
They struggled. They got out rebounded by 11, I think it was. KU. You were mentioning the poll. Yeah, KU fell to 14 in the AP poll.
I didn't have the most recent one, but
they fell to 14. Houston fell a little bit.
To 5. But Iowa State's up to 4.
I think Darren Peterson will actually have a great game tonight.
I still continuously think that the bench is a problem.
It is,
the
but
bench
also
is such a, when it comes to March and this run, forget the Darren stuff. This is part of the reason why you could easily see him losing. And even with all the talent, Darren can score 30 and they still lose the game in the Sweet 16 because they just haven't had the pieces outside of 2 or 3 guys.
I think what's hard, Drew,
put it together
is on the bench. I agree with you. They really don't go any deeper than 6 tops, right?
Marco Jackson's been fine.
But 1 through 5, they're as good as anybody on the court. As in anybody in college basketball, all 5 of their guys could
they're
go
one of
off.
the best. Yeah, they're one of the top starting lineups in the country.
So that's
why they got a shot. But yeah, it's. We've talked about this 50 times at this point, and it's one of the more bizarre, also fascinating college basketball teams to cover right now.
Also, in those last 5 games, Darren Peterson's averaging 16.5 points compared to his 20 that he's averaging essentially right now. So again, that's why if he scores 25 tonight, I'll be impressed because based on what he did against Iowa State, I think Houston's going to do the exact same thing. They're going to need a game from Tiller, or they're going to need a game from Melvin Council Jr. in order to win this
Another
game
day where his record on Big Monday is all on the line.
That's true.
He's 40-0.
Let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
Although, admittedly, 40-0 feels like a natural in spot. Kind of a perfect number. Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold, you, Drew, text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, where we live stream the show every single day. Like and subscribe over on YouTube. Pop to the top of your feed and join the, 6,000 or so subscribers we have over there as we interact with the chats during the show. But question I have for you today is actually related a little bit to what we did on Friday, where we opened up a number of cards from Topps, their Series 2.
Series 1
Series
baseball.
1, sorry.
Yeah.
Series 1 baseball, their Topps 2026. Open a whole bunch up, trying to find some hits for everybody. And then because of that, and you know how this works, your algorithm starts getting you, right? Now it wants to show you card stuff of all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know whether or not you'd respect a boundary here. Currently, there's an issue in the Pokemon collecting world, Gold. What's happening is, like, let's say they're going to do a big drop at whatever, it doesn't matter, the store, Target. There's going to be a big drop. And what the Pokemon scalping community is starting to do is setting a lawn chair up with their name in front of the store in order to reserve their spot. And the question being, if you were going there, Gold, you're like, I'm going to go get this. There's money in it. It's a Topps product, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw no people, but a row of 20 chairs as you went to arrive to wait in line. Do you respect the order of the chairs, or do you just get in front of all the non-people?
Oh, because we're all there for the same reason. No, you'd get in line where you're supposed to get in line because you're all there for a reason.
I don't respect the chairs. I'm in front. Because you put a chair there? Chair's not a person. Waiting in line and holding a spot, in my opinion, has to be a person.
But you're going there to do the same thing, which is scalp the boxes. So I don't. That's why.
Correct.
So then you're no different than them. So get your ass in the line with the chairs as well. If you were there, like
I'm different than them because I'm a person, not a chair.
But if you were just there with with your son and innocently going to buy a box for him to open, sure. But if you're just there to scalp as well, I know. Then you're doing the same thing.
Interesting. You're saying I'm no better if I
correct.
Like I'm not a scalper of any kind of card anyway. But I think there's still like part of the hustle of being a professional scalper.
But why are people thinking they can just put their chair there anyway?
I don't know. That's just something that they seemingly as a community have decided to accept.
So, okay, that's bizarre.
Someone says, F them, I'm there, not a chair. Hell no, they can suck it.
I'm just confused why is the chair thing even being allowed? I thought you were just saying like this is what everybody's doing now, so it's just accepted.
I think it is not like, I don't know if these businesses are accepting it because they don't have somebody monitoring at 3 a.m. It just seems like it's become, based on what I was reading, some commonality in the way people are attempting to do it. I'll tell you right now, if I'm not there, if I'm not a scalper, you and I just want to go get a box together and we're going to go, I don't care about your chairs. You either, and this goes back to the same thing as when you were a student standing there at Allen Fieldhouse camping out all week, Gold, so you could go to Big Monday tonight. Either someone, a person, an actual person needs to stand there for you, or you need to stand there. I have no.
Yeah, but they don't always call.
They don't
always call roll call, and if they don't call roll call, then you're good. So who's checking on the target line? Because the camping example you gave, you might get away with it. You just better hope they don't call roll while you're not there.
Yeah, that's true. You might get away with it in that scenario.
I don't do the Pokemon stuff though, but that's crazy. Yeah, Target, man. They for a while they stopped selling all those because it got too insane. So they stopped selling Pokemon and baseball cards for a bit of time a couple years ago because it got so insane with people waiting in like the aisle for the because a third party person that stocks the cards. It's not like just a Target employee. It's like a third party company that comes in and has all these totes.
Interesting.
They bring out all these totes and put it on the shelf. It's not like a normal Target employee that does that.
I don't own any Pokemon cards. This is just in the hypothetical. Let's say it was a super popular, because there are, just like anything else, there are baseball cards that are harder to get
for sure
on a shelf because it's a more popular product. Hobby boxes are harder to come by, whatever. I just don't like the idea that I would allow someone.
Someone says you're
like, what are you going to say to me if I'm in the front?
Someone says you're going to get your ass kicked
by the Pokemon guy who couldn't even stand in the line.
That's
sure,
what they said.
Okay. I feel like I got less likelihood than you this weekend wearing the USA
We're going to talk about that next hour again.
To the Canada game.
I think I'm going to be just fine.
You might be.
I was looking as you were mentioning.
Someone says this is the same as Drew in the beach. When someone took their spot on the beach, and the people who try to put a towel down at the resort before, because I don't think any object should hold his seat if you're not physically there at least to start. You get in the pool, you're there to be in the pool, fine. It's different.
No,
you hear this?
I think it's
But you're
different.
setting up at 3 a.m. It's
Someone says they do the same for bourbon drops. Bourbon drops is towards the general rule of thumb is you can leave a chair, but you can't leave the parking lot, so you can go hang out in your car penalty free. That's just what someone's saying.
But they're there in the parking lot?
Yeah, they're sitting in their
It's
car.
closer.
So they're watching you
I'm
step up.
closer to
They're going to
allowing
confront you immediately.
And say what? I'm a chair?
Like, hey, that's not how we all do it. There's going to be 8 of these other guys walking up. What are you going to do then?
I don't know. Nothing, I guess.
You were mentioning the
Someone said surprise
Big Monday ticket prices. $120 will get you into the game tonight on StubHub.
It's not terrible for a Big Monday. Top 15 matchup.
Yeah, $120
At Allen?
Maybe you see Darren Peterson. $120.
He's going to play, isn't he?
With fees, $120. That's not bad.
Drew, other than basketballs,
hopefully.
do you collect anything?
Other than what?
We know that you collect 30 team. You know, you collected team basketballs.
Oh, yeah.
Do you collect
the
anything
Papa
else?
Shot basketballs.
I've got a collection of mascot statues that I'm very light on compared to how many there are.
As in, like, mascot statues or bobbleheads? For college or pros?
Statues. Mainly college, but there's a couple pro ones that I'd like to get. They make both college and pro. It's not all the schools, but I don't know, probably 50 to 60-ish would be my guess.
Where do you store all this stuff?
Oh,
This is why Drew needs a house.
Currently, yes, I do need a house. Currently, I've got them just sitting like around the desk that I have in the apartment. They all there's enough to cover the entire desk almost, like around the parameter of it, essentially. But not too many where none of them are getting visible action, I suppose.
What size figurine are we talking about for this statue? Like how big?
Probably, I don't know, a foot tall.
It's like this big?
Yeah.
Those are huge. How many do you have?
I'm thinking just a small little.
Yeah, I was thinking like one of those like small Disney figurines.
They're probably
Kids are like this.
I would get some if you include the base. Yeah, some of them can be. I would range anywhere from 9 inches to a foot.
Gold, you don't collect anything besides cards, really. You've got some random memorabilia. But it's
memorabilia.
not like
I've got some autograph stuff, some framed jerseys, things like that.
I don't collect anything.
Like I've got the Mahomes signed helmet and some Bobby cleats and.
But it's kind of like you're not like
I got a Steve Francis Maryland jersey.
I still don't know what the hell you're going to do with that.
I don't know either.
You're going to put that up on your wall?
I had a few inches to spare. I'm not going to wear it, certainly, obviously, but I'll
Why
have
not?
to. Oh, I mean, it's signed.
Like Steve Francis. I mean, what's a Steve Francis autographed jersey go for?
Probably not very much.
$100? Like seriously, what would it cost me to buy an
I
authentic
don't know.
Steve Francis
Francis,
Maryland jersey?
top 3 pick in the NBA draft. He's not a Hall of Famer.
All right, what can I get? Let's see.
I'm guessing like $50.
Yeah, I can get one for $50 right now. So you can wear it. That's less than it would cost me to buy a new Steve Francis jersey.
Yeah.
So by all accounts, I think you can wear it. I think college basketball time, you could throw on your Steve Francis jersey.
On a Maryland jersey.
This goes back to the thing I was talking about earlier in the show. I couldn't believe that a youth jersey for my 7-year-old kid, that people were out here dropping $100 every time they buy one of these jerseys. I thought the price was crazy.
Would you get a Steve Francis sign? Would you pay $50 for the Steve Francis signed jersey and tell your kid to wear it?
I mean, maybe at this point I would. Cost me half as much. He could just rock his.
Hey man,
I don't care if he gets ketchup on it. It's less. Might get ketchup on the other one too, and it's half the price.
Plus, I mean, if it's red, it's red. It might. the it's not going to be red on gold and blue.
He's very early in it, so he doesn't have a favorite player yet. Should I be steering this a certain direction? Steph is currently his favorite player, but I think he could be easily swayed off of it. He's also wearing Giannis shoes, so like, I don't think like I think he could be. He was asking me the other day, who's the best basketball player in the world? And he said, this is exactly what he said. He said, who's the best basketball player in the world? He's like, because LeBron is too old and Steph is hurt right now.
Yo, he's already locked in. I love it.
So he was already I said, I don't know, maybe SGA.
It might be Shea, Jokic, Cade Cunningham might win MVP this year. Yeah.
So he doesn't know a bunch. He doesn't like follow a bunch of players. He knows Steph and LeBron because they're like everywhere, marketing wise.
For sure.
But he's already decided
you have
that
to tell him
LeBron
to lock
is too
in.
old.
He can't be out here wearing a Steph jersey with Giannis shoes. You can't be cross promoting
Under Armour and
players
Nike.
like that. Yeah.
He's sad.
Even though Steph's not Under Armour anymore.
Honestly, Gold said this with his nephews. I think just wearing, like the way you wear college gear, just wearing generic or old or Shaq jerseys, like it's very common right now. You'll see kids wearing like a Shaq jersey one day and then a Steve Francis college jersey the next.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of loyalty in the like gear part of it. Right, Gold? Didn't you say you?
Yeah, my nephews wear multiple players' jerseys at this point in time for NBA, and it's very, very popular.
Somebody said just Wemby. That's the one. Wemby might be the best player.
That's a safe one. Safe one.
He is.
It's a pretty good answer.
The other night, I don't know if you guys saw that dunk that he did.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Shout out to Wemby.
He's an alien for, they call him an alien for a reason.
The NBA. They asked him about the dunk contest. He goes, yeah, eventually I'll be in the dunk contest. Shout out to Wemby.
We'll see if that happens.
Playing hard in the All-Star game, single-handedly saving things. I appreciate it.
I hope so. I'll believe him in the dunk contest when I see that, but I hope that's the case.
I don't think it's going to look pretty enough. He's too close to the hoop. Can't look cool.
I mean, he could just dunk from the free throw
line.
But
that's why it's not cool. It's not even going to look like the one dunk that always stands out to me. And then I know we got to take a break. Dwight Howard dunking on a 12-foot rim did not look cool. I don't think people understand how ridiculous it is for someone to dunk on a 12-foot goal. It didn't look cool because of how whatever.
Yeah,
he's just too tall or whatever. Like Wemby from the free throw line won't look cool. It'll look like he's just standing there and then like he. Michael Jordan in Space Jam just reaches over and puts it in the hoop. It objectively won't look that cool. The shorter guys sometimes look cool because they got to like get really airborne, you know? Vince Carter, live above the rim. That's it.
Up next, let's get to the 1 o'clock hour. Let's talk more about U.S. men's hockey. Get the gold medal yesterday over Canada. How are you guys watching that? Something about hockey in Kansas City. And yes, Cody, I think we've decided that the text line has spoken about how I should handle Thursday. That's next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Stay warm and worry-free with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Get a new furnace absolutely free with the purchase of select HVAC systems. The pros at Hamilton make upgrading easy with flexible financing, expert installation, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your monthly energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Missouri, get ready. Circus Sports is giving you the chance to win owner Derek Stevens' wallet. From February 3rd to March 15th, you can take home your share of $250,000 in cash. Simply wager $100 and earn one share, wager $1,000 to earn two shares, wager $5,000 for a third share. Bet on anything from pro sports to college, straight bets to futures. Don't miss your chance to cash in and take home your share of Derek's wallet. Visit circusports.com for details. Must be 21 and older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya, guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Watch up behind the net. And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, The United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
NBC broadcast yesterday as Jack Hughes made history, became a legend in American sports history with the golden goal. And Jack Hughes postgame, we can maybe play some of that. It was terrific as well. It was just an awesome moment. Early in the morning, you were saying, how you approached it. I told you I ended up just watching the whole thing from bed. I just laid in bed and watched it.
I was in the living room watching it before we headed out and did some errands and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some friends I know that went to one of the bars in town. I know
Blue Line was nuts.
Yeah, there was
Packed.
Blue Line was the main one, but there were other bars that had it as well. Blue Line, it was cool because they had a member of they had Ken from the 1980 Lake Placid Miracle team. He was there and signing photos and interacting.
I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Which is cool. I had some friends that went to that one as well. So everybody maybe approached it differently. I saw a lot of photos. People had their kids up still, in their pajamas watching the living room or whatever. So it became obviously a very prideful thing for everybody. It was awesome to see. Anytime you can beat Canada, that's a good thing. And then we all know it's never for me, and I guess for you as well. It's never happened in our lifetime. So
no, 1980. I mean, I've seen the clips. Hell, I've never even seen the movie.
Sure. You really didn't see the movie?
No.
I bet you that movie, if it's on Netflix, it's moving to top 10 this week.
Look, Jack Hughes is going to go down as he gets to go down as an American hero because the difference between winning a gold in that and winning a gold in other sports that people don't regularly watch generally, right? Curling, downhill skiing, all the other stuff. You got to be an all-timer like Phelps to get stuck in there. When you win it as a basketball player, hockey, sports we know and understand, team sports, and against countries you know to be dominant at this, like Canada, and it's been 46 years since you did it. I understand that implies that they went 46 straight years without winning it. No, it's every 4 years.
Right.
You only get so many bites at the apple anyway, and you still got to beat all these countries who have been perfecting winning gold medals in hockey this entire time. Plus, the hero of the game, golden goal, overtime. Half his teeth are missing.
It's perfect. Blood. During the interview, he's bleeding.
Yeah,
it was perfection. It really was.
It had kind of all the story part of it you would want.
It did. And I don't claim to be some diehard hockey guy, but I was for
2 hours.
I'll give hockey credit. Anytime this is where, you wonder about its future in Kansas City, because anytime I have gone to a hockey game, I've only gone to 2 NHL games. I'm going to a third on Thursday. But anytime I've gone to one, anytime I've watched the Stanley Cup playoffs, in this case, the Olympic, once it got to the medal round, it's always delivered. Like it even take yesterday out of it. Like the drama and the intensity is unbelievable. Am I going to want to watch a random October hockey game? No, I don't have interest in that. I didn't grow up around it. I don't have a team that I root for as a diehard fan.
I need a team here so I can have a team.
Right. Well, when the stakes are high, it's awesome, man. And I see why people love it. And yesterday had everything because it wasn't just like it was intense, but when your country is on an international stage and you want to beat Canada, like that automatically gets buy-in from people that don't really give a damn about hockey. But also just the fact that the United States even had a shot to win that is crazy. Canada
Hellebuck is the only reason they had a chance to.
We've all seen the still image now. Like how Canada did not score a goal on the one where it's a wide open net. I don't know. It was unbelievable.
But the U.S. got, they hit 2 posts on a shot right before the end of the second period, which felt like, so it was just an intense game. Yeah. Canada had control, a huge chunk of it, but the U.S. came out on top. I will say, we should remember Hellebuck as much as we should remember Jack Hughes.
Agreed. People won't, unfortunately, as time goes on.
The day he had at the office, all-time goalie work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, incredible. He had to block 1 billion shots from Canada all night. I mean, it was not an easy task by any means. He made a couple of incredible saves. And for the second and third periods, Canada had complete control, constantly on their side of the ice, constant pressure, constant threat to score. And if it's not for him, then they just don't win the game. And fortunately for them, he had a great moment so that Jack Hughes could have the game-winning shot. And look, and it was a little bit of everything. It was like his teammate saying he woke him up in the middle of the night. It's the letter now we've seen that ESPN asked him to write to his future self when he got drafted by the NHL when he was like 18 years old, saying, hope to win a gold medal and this other stuff. It was, and we didn't talk a lot about it earlier, the Johnny Gaudreau stuff where he was expected to be on this team. He had died tragically 2 years ago in a biking accident, and them calling his kids up on the ice.
Yeah, that was
and letting him hold up the jersey while they take the picture for the gold medal. I mean, look, I'm not.
That was a moment. That was I don't know. Even if I don't know who.
That gets you
who you are. Like it doesn't matter. I mean that was a pretty special moment. You could even hear Mike Tirico trying to hold it back.
Yeah.
When that happened, that was pretty awesome to see his kids on the ice there with his jersey. It was everything you want. Like truly, like we talk about why we all like sports and things like that. Like that game had, and even at the end, as you pointed out, what occurred with the team in the photo. It had everything you want, all the emotions you want, some of the hatred that you want as well, the unbelievable performances. It was everything. And even Mike Tirico, this was his closing statement. And Tirico was on a hell of a 6-week run here, guys. He's doing NBA stuff. He was play-by-play in the Super Bowl. He flies to Milan. He does Olympic coverage for 2.5 weeks. He's been all over the place.
Because of a drought that almost lasted a half century, those teams are revered. They are held on to forever. And what happened today doesn't take away from the greatness of those teams or the meaning that those teams have in U.S. hockey. But what you saw today was the build of a generation, inspired perhaps by that team that lost in 2010 in Vancouver to the Sidney Crosby golden goal in overtime, or the team where TJ Oshie had all those shootout goals in 2014. That's when these guys were doing what you're doing, watching on TV, and they were young and they were living the dream. So for all the young people out there, not just the hockey, but all the Olympics you've watched, those dreams are formed now. Go chase them and go get them, because our country loves sports and it brings us together unlike anything else. And if you didn't know that, if you haven't been watching the last 2 weeks, you saw it in Team USA Hockey, winning the gold over their arch rival Canada here in Milan to wrap up these 25th Olympic Winter Games.
Canada and Russia have been dominating this event since 1980, essentially, right? I mean, they just take turns winning. And I understand Finland won one maybe in the last Olympics or whatever, but for the most part, I mean, it's been those two countries. So you got to take down a powerhouse. And they were not the better team. I mean, truthfully, for a huge chunk of the game, they were not the better team on the ice. But it didn't really matter in the end because heroic moments and everything else. And it just kind of had a little bit. I think Kansas City would be an awesome hockey city. I genuinely think we'd be great at it. So I hope one day you and I get to talk about NHL coming to Kansas City, but I don't know, man. I'm not optimistic because of the continued trouble with the Royals and the Chief stadiums.
Got to get that stuff figured out before we can really have a real conversation about the NHL coming to Kansas City. You got to figure out where the Royals are going to play in their long-term home. I know we have the arena already. We all know at the time when it was built, everybody thought perhaps we were going to get the Pittsburgh Penguins. That, of course, was not the case. We were used as leverage, as we all know at this point in time.
It worked, by the way, the leverage.
It did work. I do think if we ever were going to get another one of the professional teams from the Major Four, hockey to me is most likely what we would get. I don't think we're going to get another crack at an NBA team. I think NHL would actually do very well in Kansas City. I think for the narrative or the day-to-day stuff, the NBA is better. Right, like from a pure day-to-day entertainment conversation, the NBA is better on that. If you're just saying from our job perspective,
yeah.
But the NHL in person. Now that I've actually gone to multiple, it's pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what it's like in Canada, where that's everything to them, and that's also why the win was so special too, because it's how much it means to them.
Alex ordered a USA Hockey hoodie, to wear specifically to a Montreal Canadiens game coming up on Thursday. Yeah. So his plan is to rock a USA jersey in the Canadiens arena. Drew and I both think that could come with the possibility of a physical altercation. Does that seem fair, Drew? That there's a chance somebody's at least going to offer to kick his ass?
I think
I'd be surprised if at least one person doesn't offer to kick your ass.
I don't know about
I mean, they would.
I think you're overreacting to this whole thing. I'm going to Montreal.
I'm going to report on Monday.
I will definitely let you guys. I'm going to Montreal on Thursday. I'm going to be there for a couple days. One of the things I'm doing is going to a Canadiens game, and I'm very excited. It's 20,000, sold-out arena. It's going to be awesome. They're playing the New York Islanders. Remember, Montreal Canadiens have Americans on their team as well. This is not this is a NHL game. And, yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie, assuming it comes in on time, that has USA Hockey on it. And
you're not wearing one of the American players on the Canadiens jersey. You're wearing a Team USA jersey.
It's not a jersey. It's just a hoodie.
It's just a hoodie.
Thing.
Yeah. It is. I think it's you're going to Montreal to root on the Canadians in a Team USA hockey jersey. That's where the lines are not.
He thinks it's a blurred line.
Yeah, that's where
you're
the
rooting for a Canadian team in an American jersey.
You want me to root? It's
me,
even worse. You want me to be obnoxious wearing a USA hoodie while rooting for the team they're playing on top of it?
No, I would say you don't need to wear the Team USA hoodie at all and just.
Well, of course, I don't have to wear that. I can't represent my country.
I'm saying
it does feel like you're intentionally rubbing it in.
Yeah.
That's asking for a fight.
I'm proud of what USA Hockey just did. I'm not going to wear it all across Montreal all week. I'm at a hockey game. It'd be way more obnoxious if every day I was just wearing USA Hockey and
draped
USA
in the
stuff.
flag.
I'm not wearing a replica gold medal around my neck while I'm there. Although that'd be funny.
I mean, but you are essentially doing that. I don't know that there's a huge difference between that and
it's sports.
Wearing the US
it's
hockey
a rivalry. It's sports. I think we're good.
Text line split. Somebody says Alex getting a bloody nose, not a good idea, Gold. Other people think you'll be fine. The Canadians are nice.
I think we'll have no issue. I'm also not the type of person that's going to be in the stands talking bleep. I'm going to.
I would say be a mistake to escalate in Canada.
I'm just going to be hanging out. Someone will say something. I'll ignore it. I'll laugh it off, and we move on. I'm not going to get in a fight with somebody.
I think you could argue that it actually is worse that you're going to the hockey game wearing the Team USA hockey jersey. Like if you wore it around Canada, fine. Like you'll get called out or whatever, but you're intentionally wearing the Team USA.
Well, of course, I'm intentionally wearing it. I'm making a choice. Of course, I'm making a choice to wear it. Of course, I'm intentionally doing it. I'm not denying that. It's not like I'm forced to wear it. It's not like that's the only bit of clothing I can possibly wear to the hockey game.
Somebody, you could run into a trouble.
Amidst all of the good people, there's going to be somebody in that arena that will say something to you, at the very least.
I don't view it all that differently as if you were a Chiefs fan and you were in Las Vegas or Denver and you wanted to wear your Chiefs stuff walking around. I don't see it's any different. I'm not doing anything any different.
I think it's different. I think it's
just as I think it's just as passionate. Canada feels just as passionately about it. I think it's the same, just as passionate. But you wouldn't tell a Chiefs fan not to wear a Chiefs hoodie to a Broncos game, and I'm not even doing that. Again, I'm not going to USA Canada in Montreal.
I just think
that would be wild.
Somebody who went to a Baltimore game in a Chiefs jersey and got mooned while walking out the door might want to,
we're not even talking about
tread light.
Dear Canada, you.
We're talking about the same country.
I feel like you're inviting trouble. Who knows?
I'll report back Monday. I bet you. I think
actually don't want to know.
Okay.
Don't tell me what happens until Monday.
Oh, okay.
I want to know what the rest of the audience. Unless you get punched in the face, then I kind of want to know immediately.
Well, I'll tweet that out if that happens.
You might know before then.
If you look like Jack Hughes and you got a cracked tooth.
Also, by Thursday, everybody moves on with their life.
By Thursday?
Yep.
I don't know, man. This is Canadians in hockey.
When it's country, if it's teams, fine. When it's countries in the Olympics, I think it's way different. It's like the World Cup. When you're dealing with the country, the passion for your country.
Exactly, and I'm not allowed to wear. You're saying how passionate, and I'm not allowed to represent the United States at a hockey game in Canada. There is an American team they're playing, right? They are playing the New York Islanders,
but you're not rooting for them. You're rooting for the Canadian team wearing a Team USA hockey jersey.
It's not fun to root for the Islanders.
Why would I root for the road team? That's not fun at all.
Yeah,
there will be some point you might get asked to take the hoodie off if you're going to cheer for the Canadians.
By the way, that'll actually that'll be a much bigger problem. If they don't allow you to wear a USA hockey hoodie at a game, that's actually a much bigger story.
They're going to keep you out of the stadium.
Yeah, that's a much bigger story.
I'm not saying that. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, they score a goal, they're all excited. They turn around and see you celebrating in a Team USA hoodie.
This is confidence stuff.
They might have
I don't think that's going to be the thing that sets you off. If anything, you're softening the blow.
They can't kick you out of the arena for wearing it. Yes, you did.
No. Somebody will get mad at you and tell you to take it off.
Oh, I don't care if somebody, they can say whatever they want.
It's the same thing we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think you guys are.
Kick you out of the stadium.
You guys are panicking way too much. You guys are acting like there's going to be 100. I was at a Chiefs Ravens game, and Cody knows what happened to that. That I was way more uncomfortable with that.
That was hostile.
That was way more.
But why? I just don't know.
That's two American teams.
But I was rooting for the. I was actively rooting for the team they were.
Between the two places. Baltimore has a reputation of being a slightly tougher place to go.
You guys are acting like...
I understand that, but when you're dealing with countries,
I understand it's passionate. You guys are acting like that I'm going to have the USA hockey jersey, fly an American flag, and blasting Freebird as I walk into the Bell Center of the game. You guys are acting like I'm going to be obnoxious.
Just carrying the flag on a pole.
Come on.
Bald eagle on his...
See, I disagree. Someone says it's making a spectacle. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm not wearing a United States sport coat with striped pants and a bald eagle hat. And like you guys are acting like that's what I'm doing. I'm wearing a hoodie that says USA.
You're doing it on purpose, though. I think.
Of course, I'm doing it on purpose.
No one's arguing that. Yeah, not even Gold's arguing that.
Anyway. I think Monday I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I will say, like, we're talking all this like civic pride and country pride and all this other stuff. I did really like, for any of those who've interested, I read an article over at The Athletic talking about how all 4 teams decided on the landing spot of Kansas City. I know one's Lawrence, but being the landing spots for the World Cup teams. And it was super interesting, Gold, because I'm not kidding. Because like everyone gets pride of their city, right? We all wear these KC Hart t-shirts, and like more than any place I think I've seen where people live, wear the like gear of the town you live in, right? While actively in the town. We do it more than anywhere else. They were dead. I'm not kidding. They were talking about in wooing Argentina, in wooing the Netherlands. One of the things that Argentina representatives specifically cited, if you'd like a little civic pride, as being a thing that they really enjoyed doing while they were here, was eating barbecue.
Of course. Yeah.
Not even kidding. Eating barbecue was specifically cited as in they were here and they were surprised to find out how low the traffic was and how friendly the people were while they were visiting. And that they went out to like, and I don't want to name the specific one, but they went to one of the major 4, I would say, Kansas City barbecue joints, and we're like, boy, did they love the barbecue. And I'm like, you know what? Even in Kansas City, we can take a little barbecue pride, Gold, knowing that the Argentina
that helped us get the bid.
Representatives might have done. But honestly, it was a good article because it was speaking to all the things like travel seems like the obvious one, but I'm dead serious. They were complimentary of the people in the city, the traffic in the city, the accessibility of the city, the like the things that like maybe we take for granted for living in the area and being in the area. But barbecue being mentioned was just one of those like, of course, Kansas City barbecue got mentioned as a reference point for why they like. I mean,
look,
here.
In this case, they invited Argentina to tour the city. It's no different. I don't know about you. Like a friend of mine had never been to Kansas City back in, when was this? October. Friends from DC. Yeah. They came in town. Where do you think I took them for dinner? Their first
Joe's
with barbecue, right?
Barbecue,
like wherever you think is the best barbecue in town.
Slaps,
that's where I took them. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing. If you had people that had never been to Kansas City, you're probably going to say, hey, yeah, you got to go get some barbecue because one, it's damn good, and two, it's part of. I mean, it's one of the things you got to do when you're in Kansas City. Just like in Canada, to me, you got to in Montreal, you got to get some poutine, and I'm going to. I'm planning on having some of that. I got a whole list of food places to try out.
It was interesting because like apparently UK, like Great Britain was planning on being here the whole time. It was always their thought based on the draw.
England,
England always thought we're going to be there. This makes sense. It's a fit. This is our plan. And they had to, like, they got scared they were going to lose their footing because once Argentina set their sights of like, no, we like it here and we want to come too. And then the Netherlands was like, whoa. We also think it's cool. They were starting to run into like, England actually got bumped to a secondary site preference because FIFA gives you preference based on world ranking at the time of the city you're choosing as these base camps. So originally they weren't planning, right, the difference between Compass Mineral and Sporting Park or the KC Current, and they were essentially all jockeying for position. I do recommend it. It's not a super long article, but it's up on the Athletics website. And I just thought all of that like civic pride stuff was really interesting.
Don't forget to check out Rob Britton and Scott Parks have a great podcast that is launching here next week in the next 10, 14 days.
I thought an episode's already out. Is it not?
I thought it was March 4th. Maybe I'm off on that.
Okay. I can be
Beyond the Pitch KC on the Odyssey platform, anywhere you podcast. They'll have that coming out pretty soon.
They've been working on it for months. So
telling the story about how the World Cup chose, or how FIFA chose Kansas City, and how we got the World Cup, which... Very excited. March 4th. Okay. Yeah, we're about 100 days or so-ish away from the World Cup getting going, and I'm excited to at least try to go to one match at least. Going to one. I did end up buying the tickets after that conversation we had.
I
went in with a buddy.
Partner?
Went in with a buddy. We ended up buying the 3 matches.
So you're going to go to one.
That's the
and
plan.
Sell the other 2?
That's the current plan. We'll see how things go. They don't tell you your exact... So we know we're Category 1, from the lottery, they don't tell you your exact seat.
So
FIFA
what,
does
2
on
weeks out, or?
Yeah, they can technically wait till 48 hours before, which seems crazy to me. So there's a big difference between being like, behind the goal category 1 and midfield category 1 or club level category 1. That's all part of category 1. So we don't know yet.
Yeah, there's a big price difference. If you're
for selling,
and you're the 50 essentially at Arrowhead. Well,
yeah,
those tickets are going to go for quite a bit more.
No question.
I would imagine.
All right, coming up next here on Cody and Gold, we'll get to what's trending. We'll talk more about something I thought everybody kind of agrees was going away in the NFL, and now it sounds like we might have to deal with it again in 2026. We'll tell you what that is next.
Cody and Gold.
I'm just telling you the facts.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of FanDuel. All you have to do, you use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. NBA futures let you lock in your pick for who you think's going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or a conference title. Perhaps you are buying into what the Cleveland Cavaliers have been doing post-James Harden trade. They're playing some great basketball out in the Eastern Conference. You can take a look at their Eastern Conference odds. Or maybe out west, is there anybody that can stop the Oklahoma City Thunder? Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry for Profit Boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply Profit Boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry, at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
In Kansas, truth is told in speed. Wide open, full bore, and no mercy. Season momentum earned 3 and 4 wide. Loud, intense, inches predicting outcomes. Blink and miss.
They bang sideways!
What just happened? Pure speed whipping across the plains.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, April 18th and 19th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you, with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Ollie's deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
This has to be a joke.
It's no joke. Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices. Hurry in.
Ollie! Good stuff, cheap!
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, we just got done talking about, of course, the USA men get a gold in hockey for the first time since 1980. Jack Hughes hit the golden goal, and he will be a legend in American sports history forever. Final medal count, if you care about that. We know the closing ceremonies were yesterday. Norway, way out in front, 41 total medals. They had 18 gold. The U.S. finished with the second most total medals, 33 of them, including 12 gold, 12 silver, 9 bronze. The host country, Italy, finished fourth in overall medal count at 30. They finished third in overall medal count. I apologize. With 30, Italy had 10 gold medals. Next up, Summer Olympics in 2028 out in L.A. So we won't have to deal with any of the tape delay, finding out who won. It'll just be on TV in prime time for the most part. Obviously, some stuff will be during the day, but most of the big events for swimming and all that, we'll be able to watch in prime time pretty early on. It'll be nice.
It'll be pretty natural times. As a reminder, a couple of the events for those Olympics are going to be in different cities. Softball's in Oklahoma City, soccer's across the country. So there'll be a couple of different spots for those. Next up on What's Trending. I don't know where it went. I lost it. All right, there we go. Kansas versus Houston tonight. All three locals lost over the weekend. Big Monday tonight, Kansas versus Houston. Will Darren Peterson play over 30 minutes again? We'll see. Time will tell on that, but at least another big matchup for Kansas after getting boat raced by Cincinnati. Hell, Missouri was the closest by far this week, and they at least played a competitive game against Arkansas. Nobody else was even close.
Number 3 on What's Trending NFL news today. According to Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones, they plan to use their franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens. Also, Jeremy Fowler reporting that Kyle Pitts, the Falcons tight end, will likely is expected to be franchise tagged. As far as Indianapolis, Tom Pelissero reporting that Daniel Jones and the Colts are now beginning discussions on a multi-year extension.
We'll see which one of those. Look, those aren't players other than Kyle Pitts. I hope he gets a one-year franchise tag deal when they really need a tight end. He's actually on the market, not the way it worked out this year. Next up on What's Trending, according to multiple reports, 4 high-level matches, they're calling high-level matches, including big national teams and a friendly, are being canceled in Guadalajara after the cartel boss murder over the last couple of days. And the fallout, of course, from that. So more to keep an eye out on. They're scheduled currently to host 4 World Cup matches in Guadalajara coming up in 108 days. But now there's travel issues and all this other stuff for Americans trying to get back and others. So something to keep an eye on as it relates to the World Cup.
NASCAR news, Michael Jordan's NASCAR team has won the first 2 races of the season. 2 of his drivers actually first and second in points. So a very good start for Michael Jordan, who as an owner of a NASCAR team is having some success here early on in 2026.
Shout out to Tyler Reddick, who's won both races. Bubba Wallace, second in points, doing a great job as well.
Next up on What's Trending, the NWSL. You want an behind-the-scenes look of the KC current season last year? Well, you can. NWSL, the final third, an ESPN original series, will premiere on Wednesday on the ESPN app. It follows three clubs as they had a quest for the title, the KC Current being one of those three.
That is What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. By the way, I just got the email alert. The hoodie just shipped, so it should be here on time. Yeah. I was wondering if the fact that it shipped today, it'll be here Wednesday before I leave Thursday morning.
Most likely.
We'll be good.
Barring some sort of shipping
Don't
delay.
fail me. Don't fail me on this, please.
You did order it specifically to be there.
After all this. Well, I'll return it if that's the case.
Well, yeah. Will you? You won't just wear it ananyway? You want it specifically
I'm planning on wearing it no matter what, but I also, this is a huge reason why I ordered it now. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll be bummed out about it. I'll have to borrow a jersey from somebody if that's the case. Something that I thought was going to get settled in a month or so at the league meetings was going to be the tush push.
I was looking forward to its cancellation.
Yeah, and it sounds like that may not be happening anymore. Adam Schefter tweeted out that Rich McKay told reporters that no team has offered a proposal to ban the tush push, and there has been no recent discussion about changing the rule. Everybody back in September was basically agreeing that, all right, they're going to play it out. Because the play became such a problem again, there's no way. Well, now we're hearing like teams aren't even trying to stop it anymore. And I know there's an issue with
giving up on getting rid of this awful play. Why?
If they cannot officiate it properly, that's my whole thing. Like, yes, do I think the play just looks terrible? Yeah. Is it boring? Does it suck? All the above. But if the officials can't find a way to officiate the clear false starts, or when they have the stopping of forward progress, it only seems to benefit Jalen Hurts in this case, if we're specifically talking about it, and nobody else, but not a defender who happens to strip the ball while the play's live, then that play should not exist. But I don't like hearing this, that suddenly teams have backed off. Is it because teams now just, like, it makes the point stronger. If you're an Eagles fan, you're saying, it really was because people didn't like us and we were the best team. Because now the Eagles are coming off a bad year and suddenly teams don't care anymore. It's a bad look.
So it was the competition committee co-chair, Rich McKay, who originally said there is no current rule or team proposal that he's seen on it, and they don't anticipate really any rule changes at all as it relates, and claiming that the league is just in a good place, and he doesn't envision a, quote, big year in terms of these rule changes. I hate, and this should speak even further to my hatred of it. It did not help the Eagles win this year. It did not help the Chiefs lose this year, and I still want it gone. It's stupid. It is a rule that is, you can't officiate. But here's the thing. So if I have to just accept the tush push is here to say, and like, I'm not going to complain about something I want gone every day forever. We'll complain today because it looks like it might end up being safe after all of this. Well, then I got to start getting on board. Andy, you're not traveling to Indy. So if you happen to be listening to the show because you're at home recovering from your minor knee surgery, I think is the way he put it.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to listen up. Time to get on board. Team tush push. You have to make it a part of your playbook. I don't care what is involved of what you think. The play works. Everybody in the NFL, 25 or 30 of the NFL teams wouldn't run it if it wasn't a successful play. Right. It does not. I'm not an idiot. It does not have to be with Patrick Mahomes because you're never going to run it with him.
Put it in your backup. I don't care if it's a
backup, quarterback, tight end, running back. I don't care if you sign a special player who's just a 53 man and he's 7 foot tall and he just reaches it over. Somebody has to run this play.
Yeah, I for multiple years have said back when it was Chad Henne or last year was Gardner Minshew. I don't care if the opponent knows, something's up. They put in their backup quarterback. I don't care. It worked. We all know it's coming from Jalen Hurts and company. We know it's coming from Josh Allen, and most of the time it works. It requires the right quarterback. Jalen Hurts, extreme lower body strength. Josh Allen's a bigger quarterback. And the Chiefs were
as effective in short yardage as any team in the NFL last year.
With Kareem Hunt, they were. I would just bring in a backup. Whoever my backup is next year, I would bring him in under center. I know you're like, well, you don't want to take the ball out of your best player's hands. In that circumstance, it's fine. It's fine. We know Andy Reid's never doing it with Mahomes, so bring in the backup quarterback. It's 4th and inches, and have whoever the backup tight end is this year. It's Noah Gray still on the team. Fine. He goes and he shoves Gardner Minshew or Jameis Winston's ass forward, and that's it.
It's not a personnel thing in the sense like the reason I want to ban it, because there, of course, are people in the text being like, well, it's an advantage for some teams. Well, it's an advantage for the Chiefs over other teams if they have Patrick Mahomes. It's fine that Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen are more likely to have success doing it because of their size, their build, their ability.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a normal football thing. My thing always and has consistently gone back to they never officiate it correctly, ever. It gets miscalled 400 times a season. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching a play that I don't think is attractive anyway be without a clear officiating line where these teams are allowed, and this is all teams, not just the Eagles, are allowed to take advantage of. And I kind of thought the big public spotlight, this is the thing that surprises me. You and I sat here, we came on a show after a massive public spotlight and two this year, massively controversial calls that were highlighted, zoomed in on, pointed out all the problems with the tush push. I'm like, oh, they're getting rid of it now. Are you kidding me? This is the Jawan Taylor thing. The second Chris Collinsworth wouldn't shut up on a broadcast about Jawan Taylor starting early. 365 straight days of dealing with Jawan Taylor false start calls. So this is clearly going to end it. And it didn't. Because if that doesn't kill it, what will? Nothing, ever. Right? Unless it's a Super Bowl playoff call. I don't know.
I thought we knew the answer to this. Was why is Mahomes so soft he can't do it?
Mahomes would do it.
It's not. This isn't Andy Reid. This is not Patrick Mahomes. We all know what happened in the Denver game many years ago with the knee, and since then Andy's been unwilling to do it. Yeah, this is not a Mahomes not wanting to do it at all. If Andy Reid retired in 2 years, there's a chance we would see Mahomes start doing it again.
Cody, I'm sure Andy Reid appreciates you for saying "listen up." I haven't cut it, but for you to say, Andy, listen up.
Look, I'm not saying everybody's infallible, and this has been one of the things.
They're cranking away.
This has been a problem, I think, for Andy, and this goes back. I've been upset with his QB sneak stuff forever. Mm-hmm. Drew, I'm not kidding. I will bring this up every time we bring up the sneak. There was a straight calendar year, maybe a year and a half, that after Andy had decided Patrick Mahomes was no longer allowed to run QB sneaks for his health and safety. He was running speed options with the man.
Oh, no, I know your frustration.
Are you nuts?
I understand.
He's just out here trying to get him killed.
He's got a little bit more beef to him. Thick lower body.
Yeah, he had design runs last year. I understand the frustration.
But if he's not going to run a QB sneak, that's fine. I don't need to pick a fight on that. I've long since accepted that Andy Reid's not going to run a QB sneak. Just run the tush push with anybody. A.J. Barner did it for the Super Bowl winning Seattle Seahawks. I don't care who does it.
Yeah.
It's honestly not a play. It might be a play that's more successful with a even more high level athlete, as in the reason why, like, it works with Jalen Hurts. He's not a better athlete than Mahomes, but he's like really strong lower body. Like, it might work better with a guy like Saquon Barkley. Like the guy who ever squats the most on your team might be the person you need to hand it to. The guy who can squat the most and is most likely to hold on to the football.
Yeah.
That crossover, whatever the Venn diagram of squats the most on the team, can handle the football. Whatever the middle cross section is of that, let him do it.
Sounds like we need to ask Bink former quarterbacks who are in the NFL draft, and you just draft, a tight end in the 7th round to solely be the tush push guy.
Mahomes would do it.
Mahomes would do it. I agree. I think
I do want to kind of point that out. Like, we talk about this, like, player versus coach decisions. Kind of like Bill Self isn't sitting Peterson sitting Peterson.
Yeah.
If Self was allowed to play him more, he would play him more. This is the opposite. If Andy Reid showed up at training camp August 1st this year and he said, "Hey, Pat, QB sneak's back. We're back." Which is crazy after the major knee injury. He's never going to do that. But
this would be the weirdest time ever.
ever.
She grinds on him, and
he just decided, we're doing it. Mahomes would be on board immediately. He wouldn't care. He ran a QB sneak his entire life.
You know that it's not going to happen, though. Not only because of that, but also they actually weren't particularly unsuccessful.
They were one of the better
Kareem
teams
Hunt on fourth and short.
It's such a short-sighted view.
Yeah,
they were the best team in the NFL in short yardage this year. Drew, they were. No doubt. It's undeniable.
Which is why they won't. But that is reason enough for them.
They were one of the 5 worst the previous 2 years.
See, but the one time is reason. The one time, though, is reason enough. And you know it. Gold knows it. That's enough for them to say, you know what? Why do the tush push when we were so good at it last year?
Bring back the fullback,
That
That's
would be
what the
great.
text line's suggesting.
You want Mike Allstott. Yeah.
Let's bring back the fullback. Who's the best fullback in the draft? Are there any?
Somebody at North Dakota State, probably.
He's not getting drafted. It doesn't really matter.
Somebody
unrestricted, undrafted free agent.
Legitimately, pick somebody at Army, Navy, Air Force. Somebody runs the
wing tee or whatever. Yeah. Is that even like a listed?
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
That's what that would be doing, maybe.
It is listed. I'm sorry. I wanted to look up. Mel Kiper has his best. I didn't think it'd even be listed as a.
There's got to be one or two.
There's an article up at 2026 NFL draft position rankings and Kuiper was pretty bad at it last year, but Kuiper, Miller, some other guy I've never heard of, Reed, and Yates. I didn't want to mispronounce his name. But so.
Who's the other?
Munch? Muench?
From where?
I don't know, ESPN. But either way, he's out there, and they had their number. Do you want to know their?
Oh, I thought you were saying he was the fullback.
Oh no, here's the fullbacks. Kuiper has Eli Stowers, who I thought played tight end.
He does.
Justin Jolly and Oscar Delp.
Oscar Delp is the tight end.
I recognize that name.
Riley Nowakowski from Indiana.
Yeah,
making the list.
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
Justin Jolly's on all 4 of their lists, so that's our guy.
Where did he play?
Justin Jolly. I see it because I'm reading it. There's no way Gold knows. Do you have any idea where Justin Jolly played?
Can you give me is he power 4 or no?
Yes. He is power 4.
Justin Jolly. I'm going to go.
What does it feel like? What's the
Washington.
vibe of Justin Jolly? Is that your guess,
No.
Washington?
Yes, that's a guess.
So even he doesn't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Feels like he's at a Wake Forest or some random AC Wake Forest.
By the way, they're calling him.
A good guess.
I'll go Wake Forest or Georgia Tech. One of those two.
I feel
schools.
like you were closer, even though
Wake Forest or Georgia Tech.
He's technically a tight end in college, even though they call him an H-back fullback.
Where does he play?
He plays NC State. You were more. Wake Forest has a very similar feeling.
I would never have said NC State.
Eli
I
Stowers
forgot about that
actually-
school existing.
We've had him come up as a tight end. Obviously, he actually might be a really good option, not just for the tight end stuff, but
to do some of the fullback stuff without having a fullback.
100%. And we
Sure.
already talked about how much of a freak of nature he is with the athleticism he has.
Michael Trigg is the only other player mentioned multiple times. Do you know where he played?
Baylor
football. Wow, you knew that one quick.
Yeah, he was ready.
Oscar Delp was Georgia. Yeah. We know Eli Stowers was Vandy.
These are all tight ends. None of them are actually fullbacks. They
There's
have
no
a whole
true
listing of
NFL draft
H-back
fullbacks.
fullback, and there's not a single actual fullback in this whole list. Apparently, they're all just tight ends. That's all.
Shout out to college football. No more fullbacks, unless you're at one of the service academies or you're like Northwestern.
You know what's crazy, Drew, is you probably weren't even here during the run. Andy was one of the last NFL teams still running a fullback.
Oh, I bet.
It should be coming back, shouldn't it? With running backs mattering and running games mattering again. Shouldn't these teams want fullbacks?
Every now and then you get a C, because the one fullback was C.J. Ham. Was the guy that
yeah.
was consistently
Vikings guy,
still,
right?
Yeah.
I got a stat for the show tomorrow that emphasizes this fullback conversation. Not this.
Oh.
We can actually get into running back.
I don't want them drafting a fullback.
Yeah. That's
Not
what it sounds
drafting.
like.
Not drafting.
Cody's going to make the case for number 1 overall or number 9 overall pick. Cody thinks they need a fullback.
Not drafting a fullback.
That would be pure insanity. That would be
the
worse.
dumbest pick in NFL history.
Brett Veach should be fired.
That would be
tomorrow
worse than
if that's
picking
in
a
place.
kicker at 9
Of course
overall,
it would be.
or a punter. Actually, it
A
would be,
kicker at least accounts for a lot of scoring.
A fullback at 9
kicker-
would be the worst
The
pick.
last
ever.
kicker went in the first round or second round, whatever it was. Remember that guy
Robert Aguayo, wasn't it?
Yeah,
From Florida State.
he
Didn't work
got-
out at all.
What a disaster.
Yeah,
He
that was
oh
really
my.
bad.
He
got
never
the yips and
he
never
could
quit.
never
Yep.
get it figured out.
He was
It
great at Florida
nuts.
State, and then stunk it up.
You just can't take kickers that high. The positional value is too low. The ability to find them is too easy. You just can't.
Even
it's-
if it
it's
would have worked
insane.
out, a second round pick is still nuts. Even if it would have worked, he would have had to be Adam Vinatieri
Right.
for it to be considered worth the pick, I guess. Even if he was really good, it still is.
A lot of people on the text line want to bring fullback back. So, let's talk about that. Just briefly, since you mentioned the number 9 overall pick, have you both noticed the absolute increase in articles that are either writing about this specifically or increasing the amount of, when they talk about draft stuff, mentioning it? I see Trent McDuffie get mentioned in trades 10 times more than even when we first started kicking it around, which was the second Sauce Gardner got traded. The second Sauce got traded, we sat on this show and we're like, would you take that for McDuffie? For the obvious reasons, right? He's an elite level cornerback. Sauce is an elite level cornerback. Would they give up? If somebody gave you that, would you have traded McDuffie? And we're all like, yeah, sure. If it's 2 first, why not? I feel like there's way more smoke. And I can't decide if it's just because it's combine or free agency is less than a month away or what combination of these things it is. Or maybe not less than a month away, but coming up here soon enough that people are doing it. Trent McDuffie gets mentioned in trade articles way more than even a month ago. I think the Chiefs are taking it serious. It doesn't mean they'll do it. I still think the right offer has to be on the table, but I think they're actually taking it serious and they're telling teams they're taking it serious.
No, they should take it serious. You got to find out what's the market look like. I don't think it's going to end up being good enough maybe for them to pull off a trade, but there are a lot of reasons why it would make sense. Now, they could also play this out for a couple years and they don't have to make a long-term decision yet. They could play out this year. They could tag him the year after. I mean, they could really control him for 2 or 3 more years if they wanted to. But if you're looking back to my thought on even like the Chris Jones cap number, which is, hey, just eat the 40-something million this year. You let him play it out, and that way you don't restructure and hurt yourself. Set yourself up for 27, 28. There's an argument that are you better positioned in 28 with Trent McDuffie being traded this offseason, as in you get multiple draft picks or a key draft pick, and you can allocate your financial resources elsewhere in 27, but also you have draft picks to help build up the roster. That's the argument for trading McDuffie. The argument for keeping him is, hey, he's a top 3, top 5 corner in football. By all accounts, he's a stand-up guy. You're not going to deal with any problems off the field, all of that. So that's a decision they have to make. I don't know if the value is going to be there to trade him, or the picks, I should say, to trade him. But if he does, do you guys disagree? I feel like if he does, it's closer to the draft. Like, they got to make decisions on Jalen Watson here during free agency if they want to bring him back or not, or, Brian Cook, a safety. But could they have a feeling around the draft? If they fall in love with Caleb Downs this week at the Combine, do they think, all right, if he's there at 9, let's have a deal in place tentatively? Is it a draft night type of trade with the Cowboys or whoever where, all right, no, Downs is there at 9. We'll take Downs. We'll now go ahead and execute the Trent McDuffie trade and get another first-round pick.
And then you could trade that one down and go to 27 and pick up a third.
And then you would have the 40th, you'd have the 27th, you'd have, 20th and
27,
whatever,
40, and then another one in the 70s.
That's how you build out the full roster, long-term. It's not a 2026 play. It's a 27 and beyond play.
Look, you're not going to have a player as good as Trent McDuffie if you do that. But in a scenario where you trade McDuffie, but you have pick 10, and I'm saying you trade down from the 21st pick. You have pick 9, 27, 40. What are they in the 76 in the third round? Is that what they are? Drew? Everybody remember 76, the Chiefs?
Oh,
71.
Fine. 71 and 79.
Maybe.
Gold, you could reset your entire franchise. Do you hear the picks I just said?
Yeah.
9, 27, 40, 71, 79.
Well, that's the argument
you could redo
for why
the whole damn thing.
You asked me a percentage of the likelihood it happens. I still think it's a 35% chance or something that actually happens.
30, something like that.
It's still more likely Trent McDuffie is on this roster, but it's something they have to seriously consider. And if they did the trade, assuming the compensation is good, I would understand the tough decision that they made on that. Especially if you believe, like I do, that it's